that actually is the one that organized this tournament with Jay that couldn't be here today. Valkonos, I'm gonna unmute you. Up.
Hey everyone, yeah, we're just getting started on my end as well. So for those on my channel, this is the Smokin Skaven style tournament. Just getting started co-streaming with HapyPupy. There's a link in the description with her Twitch channel there. And yeah, so far our first matchup is going to be Crabbling and Hadries. So a little background on the tournament. This is going to be you have to pick Skaven for your first pick, and then for the rubber match, it's the classical pick 3 and ban 1. But yeah, so far we have Crabbling going Skaven, and Hadries is going to be counterpicking Empire.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's gonna be a good way to see how strong the new Skavens are, to have them fight time and time again with no ban. It would be, I think, interesting, especially with high-level players like that, to see what's the percentage win they can manage to get in these semi-finals and finals.
Yep, I believe the first map should be River Maxon.
Okay, one of my favorite maps, actually. Hey, Emove! Hello!
So yeah, I think we are all
Also,
ready to go for the first match. We are waiting on the next two semifinalists, but hopefully they should be wrapping up by the time we finish up. And just making sure everyone watching that the audio levels for Happy is at a good point. Sounds good on my end, so everything should be good. But yeah,
okay, well, for me, you're also at a good level. You might be just slightly too loud. I'm gonna bring you down just a bit. Because today, oh wait, I could just bring my mic closer, and then that's better. There you go. Okay, today it's a low energy puppy, so I'm gonna try my best. Crabbling is gonna bring out the doomers. You know what, A-move? I hope so. Hey, Drace is ready. Do we? Wait, let me just make sure. Yeah, you guys see. Okay. You guys can see what's happening. Because on my phone I have a black screen actually, so it kind of scares me. Also, it's again from the phone because my laptop is still dead, and well, I can't just buy a new one right now. So
yeah. So what do you think about the Skaven and Empire matchup? I think it's a fairly
well,
even
I
one.
have to be honest. I mean, I know it was a fairly even one before the new patch. Since the new patch, I haven't seen enough of that matchup to have like a definitive answer. I'd say that like the new tools of the Skavens may help them a bit, but yeah, I think it should be okay. I think Empire still have the tools to like fight back.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
I think
They have plenty of anti-large tools. I think the biggest question is going to be, are they going to be able to handle the new speed that the Skaven have on them?
exactly. And also I've heard, so I haven't tested it myself, but I've heard that if you miss micro your Empire Knights and they actually get charged by the armor-piercing wolf rats, the armor-piercing wolf rats beat them in melee.
Oh,
If the rats get the
that's a very
if they get the
interesting thing to
charge.
see.
So I mean, and given in the matchup where there is a lot of mobility, that's actually not that incredible that you miss micro your knight once and you get charged there. So we'd have to see. Might be one of the few matchup where the armor piercing variant of the wolf rat is actually useful. Because I don't know what you think, Valkonos, but for me, like the poison one are really good. Maybe a bit expensive, but they are good. The armor piercing magic attack version, I don't see a lot of uses for them.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much anything that's got, high speed like that with poison, it allows them to really just chase things down very quickly, pretty much giving them that really advantage and allowing like rat ogres, for instance, to catch like Empire Knights or something like that. It'll slow them down, allow more engagements in their favor.
Exactly. Yeah. No, definitely. And you can actually have something that is like, I mean, decently powerful with a brood horror in the mix, because you can have your hounds that start to engage the brood horror that like avoids the fight to be completely one-sided, giving time to your slower mobility to catch up, like your rat ogres and stuff like that. I think the rat ogre, the brood horror in combination with the wolf is actually pretty potent. If you to just to be used as a slowing tool, basically. If
Yep.
it's just your wolf, they kind of reach. Oh, thank you for the 4 months subscription, Zach. Thank you. 4 months already, yeah. Broodora is just giant naked morats. I really like Broodor's models. I don't know. I think they look good. I don't find them horrible though. I mean, they're just rats with no hair. That's really not that terrifying. I like nude rats. I mean, you know I do. um, So Valkonos, I've been kind of out of the loop this past week. What's your content creation schedule looking like? Are you posting one video a day?
Yeah, I usually try and get out one replay a day. Been getting back into season 2 of Rise of the Mortarchs, so I had that this
Okay.
past weekend, and probably looking to get the next few qualifiers going in January with the upcoming schedules. But we'll be planning another stream next weekend, and yeah, should be a lot to look forward to on that end.
Yeah.
I know you've been kind of a little.
Shetland Apache.
Yeah, you've been taking.
Sorry, go ahead.
You've been kind of taking a little bit of a break, correct? But you've been getting back into some like King of the Hills and stuff as well.
Yeah, I took a break because of Ariel life, and then now I'm back. Okay, Crabbling is taking his sweet time. I've been getting back, but I mean, nobody really cares, but I'm still gonna say I started like new relationships with like a romantic one, so I've been pretty distracted, to say the least, from streaming. Wanted to spend time with my significant others, so I'll come back once the honeymoon period is over and I start yelling at them on a daily basis. But also, I think I need to diversify my content a bit. I don't think I can be a full-time Warhammer streamer. I think my ability to like focus on something isn't strong enough to only do Warhammer. So I'm gonna start like trying to do a better schedule in terms of streaming, but probably like if I stream 4 days a week, only 2 of them would be Warhammer.
Well, yeah, always nice to get kind of a mix up of content. And it's good for you as well, so you're not always stuck on one thing.
Exactly. Like I really like Warhammer, but I'm not as dedicated as you guys.
Okay, and for those
Yes,
watching, we are
Zach.
just waiting on Crabbling still, so I'm just
Yep.
gonna ping him on Discord, see if what's up with that.
Okay. And yes, Zach, I actually have a boyfriend and a girlfriend. Can you imagine that? Yeah, lots of things happening in a happy space life these days. Yeah, Zutron, I agree. I mean, you have lots of people that are like pure Warhammer streamers or Warhammer content creators, and I mean that's really good for them. But I'm gonna start doing other things. Thank you, Zach. Thank you. I'm very happy. But basically, having two
But
significant others, that if you want to spend time with them, well, you know, it takes a lot of time in the day.
All right.
And the game is gonna start. We can
Yep, so
stop
we are
talking,
loading on
cringely
in.
talking about my love life.
All right, do you want to go over Skaven or Empire first?
You know what? You organized this tournament. I think you deserve to go over the Skavens.
All right.
Zutron, what I'm gonna do is probably some, well, they load, probably some chess streams, and yeah, other games. I need to decide what it's gonna be like the plan in the next, in December to plan my real return in January, and have a schedule and an idea of what games to start streaming. Okay, sorry,
Yep.
Valkonos. We
All
can
right. Yeah, so
go over the armies.
for Crabbling Skaven, we do have a Grey Seer of Plague going to be leading the forces, and he's going to be bringing Scorch, Unholy Clamor. We have the Dreaded 13th, a nice Storm Vermin summon, which can nuke kind of a blobbed up infantry fight. We have also Blessed with Filth, Vermintide for some Clan Rat summons. We have the Warpstone Scroll in case there is any flying units on the field. And of course, he also has his Bound Arcane Conduit. And for the rest of the forces, we do have a little bit of Vanguard with some the Vistran's Death Squad, Death Runners ROR with one more Death Runner, and the Ishka's Triad. You're going to have some nice stock units on the field. They all also have the concealment bombs to give them unspottable. For the rest of the forces is pretty much just going to be Skaven Slave, spears in the front line, very heavy on the infantry. Not going to be seeing any ranged units from Crabbling, and we do have some Clan Rats in the rear going to be supporting that front line, but the heavy hitters are going to be the Rat Ogres, which include the Pit Fighters of Hell's Deep, who do have Berserk, taking a page out of Norska's playbook, so they will eventually go Berserk if in sustained combat, but they also get a lot of bonus to their abilities on top of that as time goes on. And we also have the Mutant Rat Ogre ROR, the Morkastar's Hellion, which is pretty much very much like the Ikit Zap Zap, because it does delay abilities for anything that it does attack. And we also do have an Assassin going to be supporting that engagement with Rival High Talisman, Assassin's Trophy, and Skaven Brew as well. And that's going to wrap things up for the Skaven. Now Happy will go over the Empire build.
Okay, so yeah, it's a Skaven, I mean, mostly melee rush, which is like one thing you often see against Empire. I feel like against Empire, melee rush is one of the most common strategies I've seen these past months. So what do we have for the Empire? A few unbreakable infantry units. Oh, God. No, sorry for that. I'm gonna mute my phone. I'm really sorry about that. So, frontline, unbreakable frontline, 2 flagellants and the Sigmar Sons, 2 great cannons, one being the our Hammer of the Witches, who has a better ability in terms of physical resistance, also better accuracy and reload time thanks to the chevrons. And you have quite a lot of skirmish cav with 4 pistoliers. I mean, pistolier is really good against everything that's low armored, and that's 90% of the Skaven army. And 2 Knights of the Blazing Sun. 2 Knights of the Blazing Sun and 1 unit. Two Emperor Knights and 1 Knights of the Blazing Sun for the heavy cav component of the army. Also, Boris as the leader. Boris dived down. Did some damage to the Ishka's Triads and is now going back into the air. Having taken a bit of damage. However, very nice cast of the Dreaded 13 spells, shattering the Hammer of the Witches and making rout a unit of Storm Vermin.
Yeah, I think the Skaven are definitely going to have their work cut out for them, kind of chasing down all the Pistoliers, but they are doing good pressure in the backline, already taking out the Hammer of the Witches.
Yeah. No, that's actually really good. I mean, if they should get the second Great Cannon, the 1 unit of Spearmen can't stop them. They need, like, without cav support, they can't do anything against it. So I'm losing the 2 cannons that early is really dangerous for the Empire.
Yeah, the Spearmen should be able to hold them out.
Well.
Oh.
Yeah, for a time. But
yeah, that
nice
was...
engagement on the side for the Empire. I think the Emperor Knight, Boris managed to broke 1 unit of Rat Ogre. So.
I think the Feral Manicore summons are going to do quite well against that Grey Seer as well. That first one already pretty much taking it down to half health. We do have the Pit Fighters coming in to help kind of screen that out as best they can, with the Empire definitely trying to hold off that Storm Vermin on their last Great Cannon, though I think at this point there's not really a whole lot of good targets, and the Skaven are quickly closing that distance.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, the artillery pieces, I think part of the damage on the Grey Seer may have been from the great cannons at the beginning, but now they can't shoot. They are in melee, and the pit fighters are also joining. However, the Storm Vermin summon has dissipated at least, so that gives a chance, but no more great cannons for the Empire.
Yeah, we do have the second Feral Manicore going to be coming down, trying to finish off that Grey Seer, I'm sure. However, that Assassin should be able to keep that at bay, and I think we also have that Morkarstar's Hellion is going to be close by as well to provide enough screening potential, so I don't think that Grey Seer is going to have too much to worry about.
Yeah, and also like Boris, I mean, of course he can regenerate HP, but he still has lost quite a lot of life, and it's gonna take him a while to like get back from it. However, I mean, nice attempt at a gunning. If they don't get the Grey Seer, at least they should get rid of these Rat Ogres, maybe definitively this time.
And I think at this point that Feral Manicore just kind of needs to turn and deal its damage to the Rat Ogres. But it is going to just try and keep pushing through, trying to get on top of that Grey Seer, while Boris is going to be able to handle the Hellion and actually rout off the Rat Ogres as well.
Yeah, I mean, I handled the Alien. I'm not that sure. Like, given the HP left on Boris, yeah, he needs to retreat. And I think like this is looking bleak for the Empire, honestly. Besides the 4 units of Pistoliers, what's really left?
Yeah, I mean, the Pistoliers, they're so low on ammo, too. I think that Hellion by itself with the Rat Ogres is just going to be too much for what the Empire has left. Especially a full health Assassin as well. Boris really can't engage with that Grey Seer with that close by. And that Hellion is going to be just a big threat as well.
No, I agree. I think the Empire... well, I mean, the idea of the Empire was to have 2 units of great cannons to be able to shoot at the... I mean, to do damage to the Grey Seer, the Rat Ogres, all these good targets, but I mean, losing the 2 artillery pieces that early was, I think, detrimental.
Yep, and the dreaded 13th just nuked that first Great Cannon.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it looks like Crabbling's definitely going to be taking this first one in rather convincing fashion, but now he's going to have to contend with Hadri Skaven for Game 2.
And that's gonna be a terrifying prospect. Well, Adris wants to fight to the last flagellants, apparently. Yep, he's dead. Yeah, there you go. I think I'm personally not that convinced by the double Grey Cannon there.
Yeah, Morkarstar's Hellion did very well.
Yeah. Oh, I feel like the 2 Great Cannons. I should maybe put on a screen blocker. I think the Great Cannons are risky these days against Skavens, especially if they go melee rush, as they often do against Empire. They have summons, they have mobility with the Wolf Rat. Defending your backline, especially static cannons like that, is gonna be very tough, I think. So, if it wasn't the dreaded 13 spells, it could have been just a regular Vermintide. Would it have been as quick to kill them, but it probably would have stopped them from firing all the same. Zutron, what rating are you? Well, I am not ranked yet. I did only a few games online for now. Mostly defeats. I beat a guy that was 1384 elo. So I don't even know exactly what that gives you in terms of how good you are at 1384, but that's the best guy I beat.
So it looks like Crabbling's going to be going Wood Elves for this Game 2 match.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, nice DLC battle, always nice. It's been only, what,
Oh, and the
2
next
weeks?
map as well. Gotta make sure update that is Harrowit Ridge.
Okay, you go by my favorite maps, so I'm happy.
Yeah, fairly open. I've got a
People
little bit
often
of
complain.
forest cover, but
Yeah, and I like the little slopes on the side. I think it's a map that like people. I've seen people try to camp on that map with artillery, and it never goes well. I think it's a map that pushes you to be aggressive most of the time. So I like that about it a lot.
yeah, I think it's.
And
I think
it's relatively big, but not too much. So
I think Crabbling already readied up. Definitely has a plan in mind.
yeah,
I think he'll try and pull the Skaven at least closer to his side of the map because having that forest for the Wood Elves is going to help out quite a bit. Depends on how
yeah.
the Skaven.
I mean, yeah.
Because
I really
overall,
want to see how good their bonus is. Like the bonus for large unit in the forest. I want to test it because like it's plus 15% melee defense, which is decent. And also, if you combine that with the fact that, for example, rat ogres don't get strider, if I'm not wrong, so they get a big debuff in the forest. I mean, if they fight in the forest, like the rat ogres and all these guys, they will get massacred.
Skaven should have some tools though to pull the Wood Elves to them as well, because they will overall outrange the rest of the forces of the Wood Elves,
Yeah,
at least to an extent. However, the Wood Elves will have the benefit of a lot of their units having stock.
yeah, you will probably see at least one poison wind mortar. I think because you need to react quickly when the put scouts come out of the of hiding. But yeah, I think the thing is you need with Skavens you need bodies of like slaved in the front so that your more important units are outside of the range of the put scouts and force them to use their ammo on killing chaff. And hello Blake, yeah, it's been a while. My streaming schedule has been lackluster these past months. How are you doing?
Yeah, thanks, Arrow, for the compliment on that. Trying this is the first tournament trying out this new UI, so far it's going fairly well. It looks like Hadries and Crabbling are both ready to go, so we'll load on in to this next match.
Thank you, Blake. Up. Wait, Arrow is in your chat? Arrow, aren't you like doing the salad cup right now?
I think Anticity is streaming that one right now.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Alright, looks like both already loaded in. You want me to go over the Wood Elves then?
Yeah, last time you did the Skavens.
Okay.
I want the fluffy.
So for Crabbling's Wood Elves, we do have Ariel. She is going to be quite a potential problem for the Skaven if they don't have the tools to deal with her. Once I figure out where they have all gone off to. Ooh, a very interesting deployment here. But we do have Ariel, and she is going to be bringing... So she does have the Acorn of the Oak of Ages, a nice little AoE damage. We have the Berry Wine, gives perfect vigor and pretty much a bound regrowth. We have Soul Stealer and Apotheosis for a little bit of healing, and of course she is unbreakable. We have Orion going to be supporting, and he is going to be bringing his Hounds for his abilities. And then for the rest of the forces, we have a front line of all Dryads, and they will be backed up by a trio of Deepwood Scouts. And we do also have the Lost Sylvan Knights ROR unit, very nice ethereal unit, as the Skaven can struggle to provide a bit of magical damage to really deal with them, as most of their, like the Giselles, for example, do not actually have magic damage themselves. And then we have some Wild Riders on the opposing flank. But that is going to wrap things up for the Wood Elves, so now let's see what the Skaven have to offer.
Okay, so to counter that pure Vanguard army, you have a front line of Storm Vermin and Okay, so one unit of Storm Vermin, one unit of Skaven Slave, the Clan Vulcan Tail Slasher, so the Awa Clan Rats with shields, one unit of Clanrat Spears with shield and the last unit of Skaven Slave. Okay, so I mean, quite a few different type of unit in that front line. However, one unit of Storm Vermin, they will trade okay with Dryads. Even though I think our Dryads actually do a number of them. Beside that, what do we have? 4 units of Skaven Slave Slingers, Poisoned Wind Grenadiers, so the short range version. Warp grinders, of course, to slow down unit, and they actually have magic damage, so they will do fine. I mean, they will do okay at least against the Lost Sylvan Knights. The Awa Mutant Rat Ogre, Mosquitoes Alien, once again, also magic damage on him, so that's pretty important. The Awa Rat Ogres, and 2 units of Wolf Rat with a Packmaster, the Packmaster on the Broodor with the healing, I think, and a Plague Priest with Breath and Summon, and Lord Croak with more Summon.
That's definitely going to be a very interesting matchup, though, because already both armies can be clashing immediately.
Yeah.
The Skaven definitely need to make sure that their Poison Wind Globadiers stay safe, as they do have that magic damage to deal with the Sylvan Knights and Ariel herself. Otherwise, the Hellion and the Packmaster are going to have to be called on to deal with her.
Oh, there was actually... Wait. Yeah, okay, so Croak only has his items. And yeah, the Sylvan Knights are already on the Poison Wing Globadiers. It took a few seconds for Hadris to realize what was happening. A lot of his units were still like moving forward after the engagement that had already started. So, yeah. The micro, not knowing what happened, was difficult on Hadris' micro, and now, I mean, he lost most of his dogs and the Globadiers, so it's gonna be dangerous.
Yeah, and Skrulk has taken a lot of damage from Orion as well, but the front line of the Wood Elves has pretty much buckled very quickly themselves. It's just going to kind of come down to, can they deal with Ariel, the Stag Knights, and Orion?
Yeah, I mean, the Stag Knights, honestly, like, they will probably get a regrowth. I mean, the bound regrowth of Ariel, because they have taken some damage already.
I mean, but Orion's taken a beatdown as well.
Yeah, but if Scott broke, I mean, that there is the mobility advantage is probably now in the favor of the Wood Elves, because I think that
yes, they have the Wild Riders. The Hounds have shattered completely, so and all of the Deepwood Scouts are still free to engage right now. But the Wood Elves just have
shoot at the Packmaster also.
Wood Elves just have to be careful with Ariel and Orion, because that Hellion is doing quite a bit of damage, as well as Lord Skrulk. But Lord Skrulk has taken a lot in return.
Yeah, the Packmaster is on the verge of breaking right now. I think shooting at the Awa Rat Ogre honestly would be a decent choice, because he's killing everything around him, and he's basically the last heavy hitter in the enemy army. And Ariel might go down to him pretty soon.
Yeah, and having that magic gone so soon could be the way for the Skaven to come back into this fight. And she has her Berry Wine available. Now is definitely going to be the time to use it. Unless she, I don't think she's using it so far. And she is getting netted down by the Warp Grinders. Sylvan Knights coming in for the rescue.
Maybe she can survive thanks to the Sylvan Knights engaging. But
oh man, that Orchestar's Hellion just got absolutely nuked down, as he is down to nothing right now. He's probably going to shatter at this point because the Sylvan Knights, and he actually goes down. Oof, that is going to be rough for Hadris there.
Yeah, I didn't think he would take damage that quickly. I mean, it was basically just a charge of combined charge of Orion and the Sylvan Knights, and I mean, it was over for him. And now it's going to be the turn of the Packmaster. The Packmaster has taken almost 1,000 damage in a matter of seconds from the Lost Sylvan Knights. Lost Sylvan Knights once again proving themselves, I mean, an incredible threat.
Yeah, once that the Wood Elves dealt with all of the magic damage, I think they've really had pretty much free reign. Pretty much taken that Packmaster down, shattering it already. Orion and Ariel, though, are both very, very low. Actually, Orion goes down.
Dead. Yes, Crooks killed him, or Ariel won't be happy about that, and she's gonna go after Skrulk. Skrulk also really close to breaking. But what's left really for the Skavens?
I mean, the
Besides some
Dryads
infantry.
dealing with the Poison Wind Globadiers. I mean, you just have some
Yeah.
units, slingers. I think the Sylvan Knights might be able to hard carry just themselves at this point.
Yeah, I don't be like now that all the anti-large or heavy hitters are up, and the pit fighters of Deep can do a bit, but I mean one charge from the Silver Knights and they'll be shattered. So
Flag Priest is back, Pit
I,
Fighters, but yeah, again, just a single charge. Scroll actually goes down, and I think that's
yeah,
just going to be pretty much it. Army losses will probably be
yeah,
kicking in
I mean
fairly
that's
soon.
it.
There it is.
Mhm.
So Crabbling quickly taking the Series 2-0.
Yeah, that was really convincing, honestly, by
Well,
Crabbling
I
both
mean,
games. And,
Sylvan Knights racking up the value there. 243
yeah,
kills, 2,500 in value. I mean, they cost 2,000 themselves, but yeah, at that point, I mean, they still had quite a few
and
models left.
Orion basically the same
Wow,
value.
he got a lot of damage too, and
So
he took a lot of damage himself. But yeah, he still dealt it out to Skrulk as very
yeah,
quickly.
I mean, with the Cloak of Isha, he's basically a tank. So it's, I mean, better him that a lot of other, like him and Ariel are there to take damage, honestly, because they can take it a lot better than, I mean, almost anything else in the Wood Elf roster. So they're here to take a beating and like dish it back, of course, while the other troops can hopefully get engagement that don't hurt as much. I mean, the Alien still got 1800 value. I mean, the Alien did its job, honestly. It's more the rest of the army that buckled a bit too quickly.
Yep, and even though Skrulk took a lot of damage himself, he still racked up some good value. But otherwise, the rest of the
Yeah,
Skaven forces just got like the Globadiers. I think in particular were very. It was unfortunate that they got taken out because they were pretty much the counter to those Sylvan Knights. Let's see how the
yeah.
bracket's looking. So actually, we are still waiting on Energize and Void Lulls. So I'm actually going to try and see if we can find their lobby.
No. Wait. Oh, that's okay. Okay. That's the command to get the brackets. Okay. Let me go. Energized versus Void Lords. They are actually currently playing. We can't join them. Give me a
Let's see.
second.
I don't even see the lobby right now, but
Yeah, they are currently playing. Well, Valkonos, if you're okay with that, I'm gonna get myself something to drink quickly.
all right. Yeah.
While we wait for me.
Yep, I'll get the.
Like,
Are you still in the other lobby, or? 'Cause I'll-
no,
okay.
you
I'll,
deleted the log.
here.
Like it doesn't exist anymore.
I'll rehost
Wait.
that, and then once, because hopefully Void Lulls and Energize are in their final match.
Yeah, I mean, I would hope so. It's been a while for them. These two games have been pretty quick because in both cases, Crabbling went for a very aggressive strategy. I mean, the first one was a melee rush. The second wasn't pure melee, but it was full Vanguard. So
Yep,
both battles.
I mean,
were
yeah,
pretty
both
quick.
of Crabbling's builds have been full melee rushes, so they've proved to be quite useful against Hadri's, though.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, back in a minute. Hey, Fandangly, how are you doing?
All right, well, I guess while we are waiting, you can just kind of sit in chat for a little bit, so you can get a little bit of background. Yeah, Spooky Skeleton, I agree. The Chariot's definitely got a little bit of the short end of the stick on the mass changes. Makes them a lot more harder to use in some particular matchups, especially dwarves, and that was kind of one of their best uses was against that faction. So yeah, this, if you recognize the viewport here, that is Norska, using their faction logo. Yeah, Britannia is probably the one because you're not really going to see a whole lot of. I mean, you'll see some, but you're not going to see like a full front line of the men at arms who have a bit more compact formation.
I'm back. Up. Yeah, we're waiting for the second semi-finals, Fandangly. The first one was 2-0 by Crabbling against Hadris. First with Skaven melee rush, and second with full vanguard Wood Elves against Hadris Skavens, which is no small feat, beating Hadris Skavens that convincingly. I mean, it was pretty close, but there was still a lot of damage available for the Wood Elf at the end. Hey, Bob.
So yeah, currently we have Voidlulls and Energized are playing in the quarterfinals right now, and the winner of that will face off against Evan Starr. And then the winner of that second semifinal will be against Crabbling in the finals, which is a best of 5.
Yeah, there was a lot of VM members in the tournament today. I've noticed that. However, most of them fought each other pretty early on. So there is still Crabbling, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So it might be. I mean, it might be a VM finals if Evan Star passes. Isn't Voidlois VM too? By the way?
I'm not sure if he's VM, but he is Russian like the rest of VM.
Yeah, I know he's Russian. That's why I was asking, but he doesn't have the VM tag, so I'm gonna assume it is, and because like VM players usually always have the tag. Definitely, there have been some changes from the since the patch. Yeah, I mean people are still adapting to the new meta, I think. Footlords are definitely better off. However, some other, like with the changes to the stagger, some other lords may have become better, such as Tyrion, for example. Tyrion doesn't get staggered as much, so he can actually fight back against things now. Because that was always his issue. Like he would lose against things he should beat just because he was staggered all the time. So yeah, I think the changes in the mechanics have been pretty good so far. How CA changed things up a bit.
Yeah, and other lords like Sigvald, Vlad, a lot of the dwarf lords have gotten a lot more viable.
Yeah, no,
particularly Grombrindle. Yeah, Grombrindle got some nice buffs. He's now unbreakable. Pretty much, there's not a whole lot of other lords in the dwarf roster that can really contend with him in pretty much all the matchups.
No, Grombrindle. I've seen Grombrindle quite a lot since the new patch. Thorgrim fell out of fashion a while ago. He might come back.
Yeah, Shetland, I do agree. Blobs are definitely a bit more on the rise with this current update with, yeah, especially like Ariel for Wood Elves, for example. She does quite
Yeah.
well in that situation.
And Skaven Blob is even more deadly than he used to, so yeah. Blobbing is definitely a viable strategy. Um, and with the relative buff to the Footlords, I'd say that, and to infantry, the fact that also Cav can't push through infantry as easily, and monsters can't push through infantry as easily, really helps with the blobbing. Exactly, Femdangly, exactly. The boxes are harder to push through. I mean, it's still possible, right? But it's just a bit tougher. You need to be careful, especially with light cav. Your light cav, now you really need to, when you charge, you really need to retreat by going backwards. You can't try to go like on the side because a lot of model will just get stuck in the infantry models and, I mean, get dragged down. So.
Yeah, even Vortex spells, though, aren't necessarily the best counter here because they're often unpredictable. But
Yeah.
I mean, and some of the, I guess, the wind spells got nerfed in this latest patch as well. For example, the Pendulum got a massive reduction to its damage.
Yeah.
So it's definitely not
Uh,
as viable, though it still does decent damage, and it
it's
is
still
still a very quick
decent.
cast.
Yeah, I think like Pendulum was a bit too good. Now I think it's decent. Like it's not overpowered anymore. I wouldn't say like they nerfed it to the ground. It's still definitely usable. And same thing with Burning Head. Like yes, the Burning Head damage was nerfed, but it can still wreck frontline, especially if overcasted. Yeah, long-awaited Pendulum nerf. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
yep.
once again, like it's not like you can't play with it anymore. It's night indirect nerf to no-brainer Norska. Yeah. Yeah. The dreaded pendulum boat combo. Even though like I mean I've still seen it quite a lot
Yeah,
since then.
Shetland, well, yeah, the Soul Sealer only targets enemy forces. While it punishes the blob, it also encourages yourself to kind of blob as well, to blob up the opponent to get those nice casts off.
Pendulum is your favorite spell, Zach? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't play this much these past days, but one of my biggest things I like to do these days is dodge pendulums. When I micro these days, it's mostly to dodge pendulums. I love that. It feels good when you do it. You feel like you've accomplished something today. Regrowth is yours, Blake. My favorite spell is definitely the Purple Sun. I don't know why. I don't know what it is about Purple Sun, but I just love that spell. It's not the best spell, but I always find the place to. Oh, you left?
Oh, sorry, I was just gonna check up on Void Lol, see if I could see
They are
where the...
still playing.
Okay.
Yeah, I still see them. I mean, I can refresh to make sure, but I still see them playing. So it's quite a long battle there.
Just say which map they're on.
Plane of Spiders.
Okay, so they're in game 2.
Oh,
So
I mean, I'm sorry for whoever lost the first battle, but I hope it's a quick 2 so we don't wait for too long.
well, I just keep an eye on that bracket to see if, like, when it frees up, we can join in and see if they're at 1-1 or if it's
Yeah.
2-0.
Definitely. You like the spell with the Vanguard's Revenge. Yeah, it's a really beautiful spell. In terms of damage, I mean, first off, it's really easy to dodge, but sometimes like, I don't know exactly what angle you're supposed to get the best damage. But I've seen it sometimes. The enemy doesn't even move, and the damage is a bit lackluster for the cost. Sometimes it does destroy everything in its path, though. But it's so rare to see it like actually work in in multiplayer. Anyone whose favorite spells aren't Law of the Deep AoE aren't playing the game right. Well, to be playing the Law of the Deep, that means that you're playing Vampire Rats, which means you're definitely not playing the game right, okay?
Now, the AFK strat's the only strat.
Yeah. Aranessa Nets. Okay. If you go an Aranessa plus Law of the Deep, I think this is actually pretty nice. A pretty nice vampire coast army you got there. Did Aranessa get any change last patch? I don't think she did, sadly. No, they're still playing. When you say, wait, what AoE are we talking? Beside Vengeance Revenge? Yeah, Mass Change should help her. I mean, she's not terrible. She's just like unlucky to be surrounded by incredible lords. So she looks bad in comparison, but she's not terrible. The fact that she can't be healed by the is kind of sad, but.
Hey, Grumpy Guard, welcome. So yeah, we're just in the middle of, we're just kind of waiting on one of the quarterfinals to finish up. They're in game 2 right now. If they do go to game 3, we'll jump in and spectate that. Otherwise, let's kind of refresh the bracket here. We had Hadries and Crabbling in our first series, and Crabbling did win that 2-0. And then whoever wins in Voidlaw's Energized, we will go up against Evanstar.
Yeah. The enemy spell that block enemies would make fun.
So yeah, Wizard Lizard, that's Vangeist Pull, I believe is what it's called. Or Kraken's Pull, for that one that slows down and does a little bit of damage, I believe.
Does it do any damage?
I remember someone testing that, and it did do some, but it's not really something you'd notice or count on. It's mostly used if you want to slow down.
Yeah, and it looks good. Like the Law of the Deep spells actually are really good looking.
Just unfortunate that they also have the Lore of Vampires, which is...
it's open. Okay, so someone left the lobby, which I'm going to assume means that it probably was a 2-0. I'm going to join just to see. Oh, wait, Hello. Guys. Did they upgrade the brackets?
Oh, they haven't updated it yet.
Okay. Because Energized is alone now in the...
So I'm guessing they finished up.
Is alone. Yeah. Oh, I can't spectate anyway. Oh no, I can't spectate. Okay, I'm gonna go as a spectator and just see if they are doing something. Yeah, guys, games. Put you into bloated corpses. Oh, that's okay. That's a nice way to use the Kraken's pool, I guess. I'd like a spell that moves the enemy forward in a direction, you know? Like, not just stop the enemy in its... Okay.
What was the... Oh, Void
Okay, so they are not done. Void Logs is having disconnects.
So it's actually 0-1 right now. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully I mean, if Void Laws is having some DCs, I'm not sure if having 2 spectators in is going to help a whole lot, but I guess we'll give it a shot while we wait.
I'm gonna look for that. Yeah, exactly. Between spells, just like mostly push. They push a tiny bit in a direction. But they mostly just make the people fall down.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'd love that. I'd love that. Flume of Doom. 4? 4 DCs so far? Oh, that's a lot. I mean... We'll have to see. Okay, I have to screen block. The screen blocker is in place. Up. Up. Okay, they are
Right.
starting once again. Same armies, I'm pretty sure.
So this should be Skaven and Tomb Kings by the looks of things. So let's...
Yeah, I've seen the... Oh, I'm gonna take down the screen blocker before I forget. Up, there you go.
Oh, and actually the score is...
0.
0-1
For
in
energize
Void.
and 1. Yeah.
Was it? Yeah, it's for Void Laws, right?
Yeah, Voldo says 1.
Yes. Okay. All right. Well, let's... Hopefully this works out for Void Lulls. If he's had that many disconnects so far, I don't know if we can kind of wait around if he continues to have that problem.
Yeah, that might sadly have to be an admin decision if he keeps having DCs, because
Okay.
like let's say he beats energized. Well, we might get to the situation where we can't just advance in the semis because he keeps DCing. TT bonus versus Sprat? Yeah, maybe. Oh, okay.
All right. Well, we're loaded in.
I'm sorry, no kitties set on the Bachi. Not even one. Who do you want to go over,
I'll
Valkonos?
go over the Energized Tomb Kings first here.
Okay.
So we have Arkan the Black, kind of a pretty good lord to be picking for the Tomb Kings. He does have the Tomb Blade of Arkan, the Staff of Nagash, Livre Mortis, and just bringing Spirit Leech for his spells to kind of pretty much target down the single targets of the Skaven lords and heroes. We do have double Bone Giant as well to kind of get that range superiority. Very hard for the Skaven to effectively snipe out unless they are dedicated to that. A couple Skeleton Archers. Rest of the front line is going to be Tomb Guard mixed in with some Skeleton Warriors. And we do have some Nehekran Horsemen for the mobility as well. Otherwise, yeah, it's pretty much going to be relying heavily upon the Bone Giants. We do have a couple Carrion as well to help shut down those weapon teams. And we have the Kepra Guard up front as well, which is a nice magic source. Causes fear, very good against that Skaven infantry. They're not necessarily going to be able to pay for themselves, but they'll be able to chew through the Skaven chaff units very, very quickly. And now over to the Skaven.
Okay, for the Skaven, it looks like a nice box for Void Lords. So a front line of Skaven slaves. In the back, it's clan rats and Skaven slave spears. You have the clan Vulcan tail slashers. Once again, I mean, they are great units, like for the Skavens in terms of cost effectiveness. Infantry, they are really decent, and they have fire damage, which can be useful against some units of the Tomkins. You have a plague. You have a plague priest on its screaming bell with. He has the summons, and he has the breath attack, or the bound breath attack, plus the buff he can get that gives him. I don't remember the name. Scrane's Code that gives him plus 22 damage resistance for a while. 1 unit of poison wind mortars. And 2 units of Warcloud Giselles. That's pretty interesting. Quite a lot of range on both sides. Some Warp Grinders, 2 units of Warp Grinders on the sides to avoid the weapons team getting completely overrun, and 3 units of Rat Ogres. And I think that's it. Oh, I didn't talk about the Lord. Where is the Lord? Yeah, You have actually oh, there is a crash. Is it me, Valkonos, or did you?
I'm still in the match, though. Void Lawless
Yeah,
has been dropped once
yeah,
again.
another drop. I mean, maybe you might have to say that Energize is
Yeah, I mean, I
going
was
to the same.
talking with Jay Phoenix. He was saying if he disconnects again, we're just going to have to move forward with Energized. I can't have continually crashes like that, and apparently that's the 5th one, so...
Exactly. And I mean, if he can't fix it after the fifth time, there is no reason to think he's gonna be able to fix it anytime soon, sadly. So, I'm sorry for, Void Lords. I mean, he was leading 1-0, but I mean, I'm gonna let Valkonos and Jay, who are the admin, decide how we did with this. Might have to just to verify local files. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, that was unfortunate we had all those drops, just clarifying with Energize, and then Jay Phoenix should be telling that to them as well. And let's still check the bracket. Okay, so he's actually advanced Energize forward.
Okay, okay. Okay, well, I'm sorry for Void Lords. I hope he can fix his issues before next tournament. He had a convincing run until then, so...
Yeah, and Void said he conceded anyways, so we'll get into the next one. So,
Okay.
I'll rehost.
I'm gonna bring back the screen blocker. So it's gonna be Evan Star versus Energized. Happens in new patch sometime, but yeah.
Alright, lobby is up. I should
Yeah, I
have
see it.
Evan Star. I'm not sure if I have Energized.
In your friend list?
Yeah.
Oh, I do, but I don't think from a spectator I can invite. No, I can't. Up. Do you plan on doing that same format later with other factions?
Are we talking about the tournament here?
Yeah.
I don't know. This was Jay Phoenix's idea with his Skaven, which is his main. So I'm not sure if we will or not. It's mostly with this new DLC, getting that Skaven in the forefront there.
Okay. Yeah, no, that makes sense. I was thinking maybe the Wood Elves to do the two factions that did the DLC. Up. Up. Okay, I'm just gonna check quickly a few DMs that I got just to make sure nothing too important. Up. There you go. Okay, no, nothing too important. These can wait after the tournament. Do you have answers from the players?
I just sent them messages. I'll give them my friend code as well, just to make sure that they'll be able to see the lobby.
Yeah.
In case they can't.
Yeah. What's the friend number? Is there a friend number limit on Steam?
It's like 300 something. But there is a
Okay.
limit.
Okay, so there. Okay. Well, we need to be careful because since we have to send it to everybody we ever play or cast for them to be able to see our lobbies, this number is quickly growing. Oh. Also, guys, in my chat, I'm sorry. Today is like I'm really low energy. I kind of overdid
okay.
it yesterday.
So actually, it looks like they have a lobby set up, so we can just join them.
Oh, okay. Okay, that works too. Up.
Failed.
Oh,
I have to.
what?
Because it's the invite to join, so we have to join as spectator, though.
Yep.
All right.
Just 200? Okay. Did I say hungover? I said I overdid it yesterday. I didn't say I was hungover, but I am hungover, indeed.
All right. So for this map, it's Energized versus Evenstar. And they are getting right on into it.
Okay, that was quick. I like that. Okay, I need to kill a fucking mosquito. I see you.
All right. So yeah, this is going
Yeah,
to be
this was a nice weekend play.
Skaven versus Counts.
Yeah. Who would you say is the advantage in that matchup? Since you play Count quite
It used to
well.
be Counts pretty well, but with some of the new units, I'd say it's a bit more on the Skaven side, just with what they have to kind of counter some of your units. Like with Throt, the Packmaster can do quite well with kind of keeping their blob alive if they decide to go that way. But otherwise, I mean, just undead in general do decent against Skaven just with their fear, but the Skaven do have the Plague Pack that can keep that from being a problem. But do you want to go over Skaven then? I'll go over my counts.
Yeah, of course, that sounds like a good idea. So let's start with the front line. You have Skaven Slave Spears, Curved Clan Vulcan Slasher. So you have 2 units of Clan Rat Spears, 1 unit of regular Clan Rats. The Console Guard, okay, I've seen less of them recently for some reason. Maybe they are less necessary thanks to the other buffs to the blob. The Console Guard and 2 units of Rat Ogres, one of them being the Pit Fighter of Hell's Deep. So the Awa Rat Ogre with better stat and the Berserk ability. The our LP Abomination that can rampage itself and get a huge boost to melee attack, to damage and melee attack. Yeah. Morkistar Alien, our Rat Ogre, that has the Zap Zap ability that delays abilities on anything they touch for 10 seconds, so they can stop casters to cast anything for a while or attack certain units that have bound abilities that work on that too. A Plague Priest on the ground. Yeah, Plague Priest on the ground with... No, that's the thing. What do you have, my friend? What? Come on, my friend. Oh, there you go. He has the summons. He has the 2 summons, and that's it for him. And as a lord, we have Thought the Unclean with his buffs, and yeah, his buff and summons. There you go.
All right, so yeah, definitely going heavy on the Monster Mash with Molder units for the Skaven. But for the Counts, we have some Crypt Ghouls, but they're going to be kind of looking to screen themselves out a bit as they kind of approach through the tree line, as they do have a Mortis engine, usually a very risky pick in this matchup, considering the Skaven have a lot of tools that can just quickly deal with that, with like Giselles and the like. We also do have a Black Coach with some Crypt Horrors as well to provide some mass in that engagement. We do have a Necromancer, just going to be bringing the Master of Dead, the Forbidden Run, and he is going to be bringing a summon, the Raised Dead summon. We have a Strigoi Ghoul King on his Terrorgeist as the Lord, going to be providing some extra summons. So he does have his Crypt Ghouls and Crypt Horror summon, and so that'll provide a lot of summons coming the way for the Counts. And they also does have Invocation of Nehek, the Potion of Strength, and he has Bloodlust, giving us some plus 25% armor piercing damage. So it's unlike the Strigoi Vampire Lord, he doesn't have the Crown of Morkin, or that Ghoul Crown and Morkan, I believe, which gives him a nice bit of healing. A couple of our guys in the air who have some
Oh,
nice
yeah.
armor piercing damage now, allowing them to kind of do a little bit of more heavy lifting, and a couple of Black Knights for mobility in the trees to kind of help chase things off. But otherwise, that's pretty much it for the Counts, looking to drain away the Skaven forces. And we'll see just how well that works out, because there's a lot of tools that the Skaven have that can deal with things like the Thing. We have Throt with his summons and plenty of Rat Ogres, and that Morkastar's Hellion is going to be quite a threat as well.
Yeah, no, definitely. Hey, Urian, and thank you, Lurks. I would have forgotten. Since now I don't have a laptop, I don't see that I have the blocker on. So thank you, Lurks. Yeah, I did take it down. Okay. First summon.
Yeah, so Evanstar is dropping down to summon the zombies, and he's going to try and cycle in and out with his Black Coach, but he does need to be careful because those pit fighters at Hell's Deep do have the mass to really keep that Black Coach in line.
Yeah.
But of course, those the pit fighters don't want to get too far ahead of themselves either, because that Ghoul King can quickly pounce on top of them. But for the most part, it looks like...
and the idea of the summon is mostly just to, like, I think, give time for his army to, like, get into a perfect position for no cost, basically. I mean, one summon of zombies isn't the end of the day to be losing.
Yeah, luckily for the Council, there is no range units for the Skaven, so that Ghoul King's going to be pretty safe up in the sky, as well as those Vargeists.
Yeah.
But they will have to be careful with that Mortis engine, and that thing's gonna, with the Morkastar's Hellion combo, that's gonna be a pretty big one for them. But a nice breath attack's gonna be going down. It looks like those Council Guard are doing some decent amount of damage to there. Makes good connection.
Yeah, I mean, that's 1/4 of their numbers. That's gone at this point. 30 Council Guards are dead, and another summon, giving still more time for Evanstar to advance and get into a perfect position. Apparently he wants to crush the left flank, because I see that the Vargeist are there, the Strigal Ghoul King is there, the Black Coach is in the area, and even the Black Knights are now cycling on the left to be sure.
Yeah, but this is where you see that problem with the mass changes, where that the thing and that summon of Rat Ogres goes down, but it didn't quite get that Black Coach kept in place. So that summon's going to be...
Might be a dangerous summon, because, I mean, he only gets one, right? Wait,
that's his one Rat Ogre summon, so using that already.
Yes.
Trying to get that Black Coach, but unable to do so, so that may be a wasted summon, so that could pay off for Evanstar here, prompting that summon so early on.
I mean, he might be able to get the, like, there isn't, I mean, he's overextending a bit, but if he can finish the Black Coach, that will be worth it. However, I mean, they are really far away from any support at this point, and the Vargeist are gonna drop on them, and maybe the Strigal Ghoul King is gonna turn in that direction. Yeah, he's looking now. He smelled the blood in the water, and he's now coming to take his due. He's probably gonna go after Throt in melee, and I don't think Throt would win that fight.
No, Throt should be able to pull out of that engagement fairly quickly. Maybe not so much for those pit fighters, as they get kind of stuck up in the Vargeist. But the Morkastar's Hellion with the thing, I'm doing some good work against the Mortis engine, as that Mortis engine is kind of a bit of ahead of the rest of its infantry support. So it's gonna get gooned out pretty quickly.
Yeah, apparently he's managing to escape thanks to some Cryptors using the, being used as body block, but it's over for the pit fighters. Throt manages to escape. He manages to escape and come back to the comfort of his army, but that was, the summon plus the hour Rat Ogres is a lot of things to lose so early on.
Yeah, losing, because now those pit fighters have shattered, that's going to be a pretty big loss for the mass of the Skaven. Black Coach, so it luckily for Evanstar, was able to prompt out that summons. It was a good bait in that case, but now it's once again in kind of in the middle of things. Thing trying to get on top of it, but should be able to pull out just fine. Mortis engine, while initially in a bit of danger, is doing quite well now.
Yeah, and the Vargeist are now gonna drop on the second unit of Rat Ogres, and the rear charge into them is gonna be devastating. They're probably gonna break in a second. the Clone Vulcan Stealth Slashers are also breaking, so
And we
I
also
mean,
do
this is
have the
looking
Conic.
dangerous for Skaven.
We also have the Conic Sign Stalkers for the Skeleton Warriors ROR, which do poison. So them and those
Yeah.
Crypt Horrors able to kind of keep those the big targets for the Skaven kind of at a little bit lowered stats through the course of the match.
Yeah, I mean the thing is still in perfect health with, I mean, with if they can both get with the Morky Stars Alien, if they can both get on the Mortis Engine, that could be really nice. But
I mean, at this
I
point, a
don't
lot
think.
of this.
Oh, they got the Lord.
I mean, a lot of the Skaven have already been kind of really beat down, and a lot of their infantry is pretty
Yeah.
sparse. So, I mean, at this point, that Mortis Engine not really going to be doing a whole lot throughout the rest of the match. It'll pretty much just be wearing down any summons that come their way. And yeah, just
Yeah,
kind
I
of a
think,
monster mash at this point.
Yeah, I think the thinking is now fighting the Cryptorers. I think like right now the enemy lord is stuck on the ground by the mass of the Hellion and Throat. It could be a nice thing maybe to try to goon it before it goes back into the air.
Yeah, I mean, Vargas also kind of keeping things at bay, and the Crypt Horrors should have
Yeah.
enough mass to keep that thing separated from Throt for the most part. And I think that's really going to be the goal for Evenstar here. And yeah, I think even if the Mortis Engine goes down now, there's not enough Skaven infantry left where that's really going to get a whole lot of value for the rest of the match. I mean, a lot of the Skaven's already been routed, and Evenstar's been doing good work at cleaning things up with his Black Knights.
And the Hellion has been like is now starting to take a lot of damage. Even the thing is so. Yeah, I don't see how the Skavens can turn this around at this point.
Yeah, I really do
Some
like
of
the
their
Vargas here. They've been doing quite a bit of good work.
Definitely. Yeah, I don't know in terms of pure value how much they got, but in terms of in terms of gold value, I don't know how much they got, but in terms of value, they got a lot. They took care of the Rat Ogres. At the beginning, a second unit of Rat Ogres. Now they are making sure the Rat Ogres can't come back. They have been a pest, jumping all around. Yeah. Close to MVP this game, maybe the Vargas.
I mean,
the Hellion fighting the Trigger Gold King.
Yeah, we haven't seen the thing use its ability yet, I don't think. However, at this point, I mean, even if it uses it, there it goes, it does use it now. So it is rampaging, and it isn't really targeting the stuff that it wants to be, and that's kind of the problem with that ability. When it's in a big mosh pit of infantry, it's often going to just target the infantry instead of the large targets it really wants to be hitting.
Definitely, and this is gonna be Armies for the Skaven.
So Count's doing quite well. A little risky pick though, bringing that Mortis Engine. And I'm not even sure if it did as much value as maybe it would have been predicted. Actually, it does look like it did quite well. 1,700, so it did pay for itself. But
it did. And the Vargas, 1,000 here and 1,300. How much do Vargas count?
Vargas, I want to say they're about 1,000. So they did.
Okay. So yeah, they both paid for themselves in terms of gold and in terms of utility in the battle. I think they definitely did.
Yes.
The Black Knights, the Black Knights were there and they made sure some of the routing unit didn't come back, provided some mass, so they did okay. The Cryptors didn't pay for themselves per se, but they poisoned, and also they kept the Sing Sing occupied for quite a while, so I think that was good. The Sing Sing itself, 1,000 value, not great. The Hellion, however, once again, I mean the Hellion, except if you lose it really early, if I feel like the Hellion is it's a pretty good unit to always get its money back.
Yeah, I think that is a very good pick. I didn't see it a lot initially when the DLC dropped, but now I've been seeing it a lot more often. Ooh, gotta get that screen blocker up. Okay. All right. Since we're not hosting a spectator, gotta make sure that don't show that. But it looks like Energize is going to be going with the High Elves for this game too. So, any thoughts on this matchup?
I play High Elf quite a lot these days. I think with higher one of the advantages you have in this matchup is that you have a few different ways you can go about it. I personally like double eagles, but that's just me. I think that you have quite a lot of options. You can go for a lot of cav and mobility and try to overrun the defensive positions of the opponent with a few, for example, shadow walkers and stuff like that. Having a pretty mobile and kitey army against the Skaven, that can work. You can have a very boxy defensive position with the artillery to take care of the enemy, to counters, win the artillery battle with a few bow throwers, and you can also go for like a big menace match with some monsters. You have options, which means the Skavens have to prepare for a few different things. They don't know what they are gonna be facing. Like for example, you can go for some chariots, lion chariots. So yeah, I like the option that the high elf have in that matchup. Bring Alice and the Handmaiden and give your workers the triple reload speed. Exactly. Katam. That's the plan. Wait, where is Evanstar going?
I think he may have just clicked off the faction. I'll remind him that he's got to be playing Skaven.
Yeah. Britannia is the only useful lord. I like going. I personally like going Tyrion here, but I don't know what it is about Tyrion against Skavens, but I really like it. He can kill everything the Skavens have, and he can burn them, and he looks cool, and he doesn't need to be healed. It's the fire, yeah.
Hey, Blackthorn.
Hey, Gobo. Yeah, the stream has been going well. I'm sleepy today, but I'm doing my best. Doing my best to stay awake. The games have been good, so it helps. Sleepy puppy. Exactly. He can't start to make his army yet? Okay. Up. Oh. God, I'm broken. I'm gonna stretch for a minute while we wait for these guys to get ready, Valkonos, okay?
All right. Alright, so yeah, just waiting on army builds now. Welcome to all those joining the tournament so far. This is the Smokin Skaven style tournament, if you haven't heard the updates on that. So pretty much whenever it's a player's turn to pick first in a series, they have to go Skaven, and then for game 3, 4, 5, then it's the normal picks and bans. So I think this matchup's going to be rather interesting. First game did go to Evanstar, so Evanstar is up 1-0 in this semi-final, so we'll actually update the bracket as well, because I don't think I've completely updated that. Give you a little update on that as well, as we are in the semi-finals. First semi-finals was Crabbling and Hadries, and Crabbling did take that one 2-0.
Okay. I'm back. So, are they getting ready?
Yep, they are getting ready. Looks like Energized is pretty much ready to go with his army, so just waiting on Evan Star's build.
Okay. I remember to put. Yeah, I did put the screen blocker on, and I need to remember to put it down after this. That is true, Katam. That is true. Unmaiden, Aether plus Fire Mage can be a really decent choice too. I'm just not a fan of Elite. Like, I use him sometimes. Like, I like him against Ghost. I used to, at least. I changed my playstyle against Ghost as Wood Elf, but as High Elf. I don't know. It's not that he's not good. I just don't like him. I mean, he's not great either, but yeah, exactly.
All right, so looks
Sneakage
like
can kill them all.
I think both sides are ready now. Looks like I saw Evan Star was readied up, so should be getting into the game pretty quick here.
Yeah. So yeah, I see what Energize is going for. Okay, Screen Blocker. Yeah, Evan Star, not Evan Star, Energize going for a really defensive position right there. Valkonos, Lux is asking if you ate a bagel today.
No bagel today, just had a donut instead.
Oh, I mean, that's almost as good.
Yeah.
What kind of donut? Make us hungry.
Apple fritter.
Oh, okay. Well, that's okay. Now I'm definitely hungry. Do I have anything sweet that I can eat? Oh, my cat just threw up. Great. Okay, I'm back in a sec. I need to take care of that.
All right. Well, while she's out, I'll go over the armies as soon as we get things going here. Both armies are just loading in. So go over the High Elves first then. So they have just a front line of spearmen, and then they have a bunch of bolt throwers as well. Now, there is a lot of trees here, so Energize is going to have his positioning fairly well to have a nice line of sight into these. It looks like he's going to be deploying more towards the front with those Eagle Claw bolt throwers. We do have an Archmage of Death actually in the sky, so that is a little bit of an interesting pick. He's going to be bringing Doom and Darkness, which actually is a fairly decent pick against the Skaven, because they are a low leadership faction, and Overcast that is in an AoE. We do have Spirit Leech as well to help kind of just target out those single characters and the like. We do have some Silver Helms for mobility, as well as the Warlines of Trace and the Rahagra's Pride, which do have their ability which causes a reduction in leadership on top of that, which is an AoE -8 leadership and -25 speed. We also do have an Arcane Phoenix in the sky as well, which is nice fear and terror source, and it does have a nice little vortex ability which it can drop down onto some formations and do a bit of damage that way as well. Otherwise, that's going to be pretty much it for the High Elves there. It's a pretty straightforward defensive build, hoping to bring the Skaven to them across this open field.
Okay, now let's go over the Skaven army. You have 2 Plague Claw catapults, so they are hoping to bring the elves to them. However, even if they have a bit more range than Eagle Claw bolt throwers, the bolt thrower will, especially for them, will win the artillery duel. So that's maybe if you get close enough to the trees, you can actually cut the line of sight of the Eagle Claw bolt throwers, maybe. But yeah, these bolt throwers are in a difficult situation. You have the Nani Bubos sharpshooters just to add to that to that long range ability of this army. Some clone rats with shield and Skaven slaves for the front line, and in the back you have 2 Isha's triads, none of them being VRWar, and 2 clone rats with spear to defend the backline. No warp grinders either, apparently, to slow down targets. And 2 mutant rat ogres. Okay, you don't see these guys that often, the non-RWar version. And for the leadership core, you have Threat on his Brood Horror and a Plague Priest with the 2 summons and the Breath attack. A Pestilent Breath. And yeah, the Plague Claw catapults opening fire. They were in fire at will, which, I mean, it's okay. They have enough ammo, so it's not that big of a deal if they lose a tiny bit of it at the beginning. And now, yeah, the Eagle Club both were also in fire at will and firing at the Skaven slaves. So I mean, both sides lost a tiny bit of ammo on their artillery.
Now, the thing is, though, with the bolt throwers, is they're pretty much going to have to fire through the forest here to get at these Plague Claw catapults. Yeah. It's not that thick a forest, but it might be enough to block enough of the shots to allow them to trade better into the Eagle Claw bolt throwers. And I believe they have contaminated as well for their shots, which they can rout the Eagle Claw bolt thrower crew, because it gets minus 10 leadership to anything that it hits. Yeah. So much like the really Screaming Skull.
Hit. Yeah. There was a really nice hit of the Plague Claw catapult into the Silver Helms, killing 10 models right there. However, the Mutant Rat Ogres, one of them taking a lot of damage. There was the Archmages of Death actually used its stalk ability to get into the Black Crow catapults with because they didn't know they was there. Nice Spiritage also in the Nanibubo's sharpshooters, so they have been doing some damage to the.
But now that Archmage going to have to be a little careful, as Throt does drop his Rat Ogre summon, and if the eagle can get off the ground right here, it's going to waste that cast again. So we might be seeing that Rat Ogre summon kind of wasted, but it is gonna be caught out by that Mutant Rat Ogre and well as Throt, but it is able to get up, so even the speed of Throt isn't quite enough to finish it off, so it is going to be able just to hang in the air until that summon does dissipate.
Yeah, the danger for some of the Skavens, there you go. Some of the Skavens are managed to push through the line, some Skaven slave, and to get near the Eagle Claw both wars. Energize, making his unit drop the models of artillery and start running. Ragra's Pride, I mean, should make short work of any unit of Clan Rats or Skaven slave that they encounter in the back line. But yeah. So the Skaven army pretty cut in half. That could be a danger.
The thing is, everything is very spread out here, and that does provide advantages to kind of both sides. The mobility from the high elves will be able to capitalize on that, but being spread out for the high elves is allowing the Skaven to kind of come through the gaps and get onto their Eagle Claw bolt throwers, which in turn is allowing those Plague Claw catapults to continue firing in. But it looks like we have the Arcane Phoenix back on top of one of them, actually terrifying them and taking out another of its artillery pieces.
They lost one of their unit of War Lion of Trace, and one of their unit of Silver Helm is really, really low. I don't even know where the second unit of Silver Helm is. So, the second is still there. So they lost half of their mobility. Multimodal mobility, I guess, is down. The Eagle Group both were crews. Two of them are fighting in melee, and the two others are actually having to retreat right now. So no more fire for both sides, because the Black Crow catapults are in a similar situation, and the Archmage of Death did shatter the Nanibubos.
So, yeah, the High Elves are getting some good picks, taking out the Nanibubos, but by having both the Archmage and the Arcane Phoenix in the Skaven backline, it's allowing Throt, the Mutant Rat Ogres, and that Plague Priest to just run pretty much freely in their own backline, and their Silver Helms just not seeming to be up to the task to contain that threat right now.
No, they actually thought, Energize thought that he was having a really good engagement against the Mutant Rat Ogre that was isolated, and it seemed like that at first, but it was also because the Ancient Triads had used their concealment bombs, so they just jumped on the back of the Silver Helm, started massacring them, plus Throat arriving with his 95 speed, and now, I mean, there is mobility issues probably for the, I think both sides still have a chance. Ancient Triads tried to do the same trick on the Rahagra's Bride, but the Rahagra's Bride managed to escape their death. It's pretty good for them.
Yeah, the Arcane Phoenix is definitely going to have to do some heavy lifting here in the late game to, I think, allow the High Elves to kind of come back into this. Because, I mean, if we're looking at the value it's obtained so far, I mean, it's only generated about 750 in damage at this point, and it still has quite a bit to kind of pay for itself.
Yeah, even though okay, so like that's when you like what does a value in money really count as? Because yes, it only has 750 in terms of actual damage to cost revenue, but he did stop the 2 units of Eagle Claw bot for firing for the whole battle. So I mean that how much does a not an Eagle Claw, how much does a Black Claw catapult cost? Something like 1,000. So that basically 2,000 value that they got out of the Phoenix.
I think the problem having the Arcane Phoenix is like it's not being able to finish off the Plague Claw crews like fully, so it's pretty much allowing the both sides to take out the opponent's back line. So now it's pretty much going to come down to the Deathcaster, Arcane Phoenix, and some of the spear support against the Eshin Triads and the the Mutant Rat Ogres. So it's going to be a monster mash in this late game, and that's pretty much how it's going to be decided. And Skaven have, I think, the better support at this point because they have 2 full health Eshin Triads, and that's going to be a bit of a problem for the Eagle and the Arcane Phoenix.
Yeah, that's true. It really depends also how much magic the Archmaid of Death still has, because if she can still keep Spirit Leeching the Rat Ogre, the Mutant Rat Ogre, like now there are 2, but one of them is really low, the other isn't feeling too hot either. So I mean, they could break after one good attack from the Arcane Phoenix. Honestly, Evenstar is gonna need to be careful. Oh, yeah. Nice. Nice vortex ability from the Phoenix. Gonna do a bit of damage to the Clan Red Spears. Yeah, Evanstars needs to be a bit careful because right now, none of his units that aren't shattered are doing anything. Like they're just waiting in the forest right now.
Yeah, High Elves definitely have the mobility advantage, and that's going to be the big thing there. So Evenstar does need to advance now, as remind both sides.
Yeah, he's not really moving right now. I think he's waiting for Throt to come back to his line. And it's gonna be another Spirit Leech on that Mutant Red Ogre. Let's see how good of a cast it is this time. The last one was pretty unlucky. It only did 1 successful tick. This one will do 3 of them. So that's 300, a bit more than 300 damage on that Mutant Red Ogre, bringing it ever closer to breaking. And thank you for the follow, Zach. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I think the longer the Skaven take to engage, it's going to give the benefit to the High Elves here. So the High Elves can slowly approach, while the Skaven really do need to kind of double time it because of that Spirit Leech. They're just going to be able to kind of take down those Mutant Rat Ogres and the like.
Yeah. I don't know how strong Throt is against, for example, an Arcane Phoenix. If it came down to basically these 2, the full health unit of Eshin Triad, and I mean 2 fully health unit of Eshin Triads, however, is going to be difficult to engage. That could be a big issue too. Another Spirit Leech on the Mutant Rat Ogre that actually got a heal from Throt. So.
But Throt does have an ability that gives a nice bonus versus large to all units around it. So. Yeah. And then, ooh, nice Scorch. Nice that was a beautiful.
Yeah. That Scorch was,
just absolutely wrecking. That could not have done any more damage, I believe. That was an excellent cast right there.
No, definitely. And also that heal on the Mutant Rat Ogre. I mean, it was at 900 HP and got another, another summon. There you go. Got another Spirit Leech Dash Thruster. So, I mean, it really saved that Rat Ogre. And now, nice summon to embrace the Spearmans, and now the Rat Ogres are jumping on them. I think the Arcane Phoenix needs to engage soon now.
Yep, they need to start taking out the models, and that's actually concealment bombs, but the Mighty Roar goes out trying to reduce the leadership of the Skaven. Though at this point, that's not going to be enough to really cause things to rout, though it could be enough to cause some terror routes here and there.
Yeah, but they broke, so it stopped. Yeah. Also, it was really close at some point. The Mutant Rat Ogre got a debuff because of the rear charge and was really close from breaking, but actually stabilized. So I think at this point it's gonna be really tough for the High Elf because, I mean, the Arcane Phoenix and the Archmages are alone in the blob.
Yep,
I
there's
don't see them winning.
Yeah, and that's army losses, and it looks like Evanstar is going to take it. The numbers advantage,
Yeah.
and that the heals as well, I think, really came through them in the end. Just the Arcane Phoenix and the Deathcaster just didn't quite do enough, in my opinion. I mean, they got some decent value, but I think overall, their time spent chasing those Plague Claws would have been better used, kind of assisting and dealing with Throt and the other units early on in the match.
Yeah, and I think like the 4 Eagle Global Throwers didn't get their value either. Like 4 of them is quite the investment, and sadly for Energized, I mean they still got they had to drop their models, their artillery models really quickly because there was a Skaven slave in the backline everywhere, so they had to leave. And then I mean, what did they really do? They shot a bit at some Skaven infantry and a bit at the mutant red ogre doing some damage, but yeah, 4 of them not managing to even kill one full unit of one full mutant red ogre. Okay, well, we're getting to the finals then after a second 2-0. Up, I'm gonna bring back the blocker.
Yep, so it'll be Evanstar versus Crabbling, best of 5 series.
Okay. Can I, while we wait for them, can I bring Red Salamander, Zach, to do a quick plug about charity stream he's organizing?
Sure, that works.
Okay, so I'm gonna add him to the conversation. Up. Oh, we are not friends on Discord, Valkonos? Okay, I'm sending you a friend request then. Up, and Zach, I'm sending you a friend request too. If you could accept it there, that'd be perfect. Okay, perfect. So now I can add up. There you go. There you Hello?
Hi, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
You should be. Can you talk just for a second? I'm just gonna check the audio levels.
Yes, I'm talking now, so can you guys hear me?
Yeah, it seems okay for me.
Okay, that's good to hear. How is everyone? How are we all doing?
I'm doing pretty good. What about you?
I'm okay, thanks. Sorry I'm a bit late to this.
No problem.
I was mostly putting up Christmas decorations and doing a little
That's
Christmas
a good
cards.
reason. And also, like that, now that we're waiting for the finals, is the perfect moment to jump in.
Yes. So yeah. As HapyPupy said just a moment ago, I will be doing a charity stream, or I'm organizing a charity stream to raise money for ACT, which is the Albert Kennedy Trust, a group in the UK that supports homeless LGBT plus youth to ensure that they are not out on the streets. And it will be taking place this coming weekend. So not right now, of course, but
next weekend?
Next Saturday, Sunday. It'll likely be taking place on a Sunday, I think, due to timing commitments from other people who are doing streams at the same time or partaking in tournaments. And I spoke with you earlier, but did you say you'd be okay with hosting it on this channel, HapyPupy?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, so time has not been set just yet, but there will be more announcements for that. I will make sure to keep Happy and all the rest who are involved in this updated. And I'll be.
Can you post the link for the first time in my chat, or send it to me so I can post it? I'm gonna
Yes.
start advertising for it during this coming week. And
Yes.
okay,
Okay, sending you the link, sending you a direct message.
there you go. Thank you. Up.
Yeah, I'm not too sure if I'd be able to post the link to it in the Twitch.
I definitely can. Valkonos, if you were okay doing it too, I mean that would be appreciated. Though you don't have to. You may want to like see exactly what it is for before you post it in your chat.
Sure, yeah, I could also drop it off in my Discord as well.
Okay, I'd be very grateful if you did do that, Valkonos. Thank you very much.
And so yeah, we're gonna like work on the exact organization from now to next Sunday. This will be on my channel. The event will probably have me co-casting with another content creator. We are still seeing exactly who we will have as my co-caster. And yeah, all the donation will go at 100%, obviously, for the fundraising for ACT. There you go.
Yep, thank you very much. I might also be doing something unrelated the day before. It will probably not be Total War related at this rate, although, as I said before, I will explain everything in advance, so I will keep everyone updated as well. So,
Okay.
yeah. So, yeah, thank you very much. And is there anything else that you'd like me to explain at all, Happy? Or
I mean, if you want to like get into a bit more into details of exactly what's the association, so they said that you said that they help LGBTQ kids that were that are homeless in the UK, right?
that is the case.
Okay.
All links are in the Just Giving page. You can take a look at the Albert Kennedy Trust itself, so you can find out what they're about. I mostly decided to do this after the company I work for was found to have been donating some money to a number of hate groups, unfortunately. So me and a few of the employees decided to get together and do something about it. And this was the idea that was born out of that. So I pitched it to a few people, and HapyPupy was very kindly accepted on it. So that's all I really have to say on that front. So
Okay.
I don't think I have too much more to say, to be honest.
Okay, no problem. But yeah, I mean, for me, it makes sense to be joining on that event because I one day was part of these homeless LGBTQ kids. So I guess 10 years later, it feels normal to try and give back about that.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Dad the Noob. That I thought that something this charity would be particularly relevant, especially at this time of year, because, well, it's winter in the Northern Hemisphere, so it would, I mean, being homeless, I imagine, sucks at all times of the year, but especially when the weather's very unpleasant, it gets an awful lot worse. Something that might make an actual physical difference, as opposed to a somewhat different charity would be more appropriate for this time of the year. That's the main reason why I chose to pick this one.
Okay. For now, I will have you on my stream later this week to like talk about it more on my stream since I'm the one that will be hosting it. For now our two players are here, so I'm gonna thank you for coming on, and we'll talk again soon. Okay, Zach?
Okay. Thank you very much, HapyPupy, and thank you, Valkonos, as well.
Yeah,
I'll
thank
see
you.
you guys around, and I'll keep you updated. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Also, Zach, outside of his work in that charity stream, is also one of the organizers of the training session in the Noobhammer Discord. So if there are newer players, either in my chat or in Valkonos chat, that want a place to train and have more experimented tournament player give them advices and stuff like that, you should join the Noobhammer Discord. And I think they do between 1 and 2 training sessions a week, usually on the Saturdays. I'm pretty sure there is one. There you go. That was the plug. Thank you, Valkonos.
Yeah, no problem. So yeah, we got both contestants in for this, for the beginning of the finals. So I guess, yeah, for the finals, you just have to win game 3 with Skaven. So otherwise, it is the normal picks and bans.
Yeah. Wait, so in the finals, you don't have to play Skavens?
Well, you have to win your 3rd game as Skaven.
Okay. Okay.
Though Crabbling's still wanting to go Skaven here.
Nice.
So
I mean, he has been proven to be pretty solid as a Skaven player. So I mean,
that is
makes
one
sense.
of his mains, so would not surprise
Exactly. And hello, Dad. I hope you're doing good these days. I haven't been able to catch your streams of late. Even though yesterday I actually could have, because I was awake when you were streaming, but I was otherwise occupied. Okay, no problem, Dad. When I said Dad, it's actually not my dad. It's a streamer that happens to be named Dad.
So he's going to be banning Wood Elves and Beastmen.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I understand Wood Elves. I've played a bit of Wood Elves versus Skaven, and I do feel like Wood Elves have a really good matchup these days against Skavens. Oh, Chaos. Interesting choice from Evenstar. Quite risky, I'd say, but these are both. Yeah.
Well,
those
actually,
are both
that's
VM
not
players.
Yeah, that's right. This is a VM final. But Chaos, it does have some good tools to deal with Skaven, though I think especially with the new stuff, Skaven still have that advantage.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like before, you had the really nice spawn rush that I think was really powerful and hard to counter. Even if you knew it was coming, it was still difficult with some Forsaken and then Kolek and a Goon Squad. I feel like now Skavens have a lot more ability to actually resist that push with their new with their new units.
Yeah, Skeleton. These are not Ben 10 headphones, even though they do kind of look like it with the color. It does look like Evenstar hasn't responded yet, but I assume he is going to be going Chaos.
Yeah. I know that the VM clan is so huge that like players don't always, like even clan members don't always are in the same part of the VM clan. So I don't know how like often these two train together, for example. I don't know if they mostly are in different divisions of the VM clan and only see each other in tournaments, or if they are actually like pretty close and know each other's playstyle really well.
I feel like especially with the especially in the Warhammer community, I think they probably play with each other quite a bit, but it looks like Evenstar is still looking through some other factions. He looks like maybe Counts or Coast even. We'll see. It's a fairly open map. It does have a bit of tree cover, but it does also provide quite a bit of range if he does decide to go Coast.
Yeah, I don't know, like Coast on I mean, yeah, I've seen Coast on Tower of Horeth quite a lot. You can use the use the left side to the side that is far from the forest to protect yourself, and you actually, yeah, it's a decent map for artillery. Even if like it could seem counterintuitive to all people that don't know the map well, given how much forest there is like on one side, but you can avoid it and stay like pretty far away from it with your defensive position.
But
maybe counts.
he is going to be going counts.
Yeah, he is going counts this time. Okay. I'm sorry, Spooky Skelly Skeleton. He's not gonna pick Sigvald. Well, we already saw that matchup with Evenstar against. That was against Energize,
Yep, that was
right?
against Energize, so we'll see if he goes with a similar build. I have a feeling he's going to want to mix it up, though, considering Crabbling probably did see his build there. So he could try and play some mind games and go with the same one anyways.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Vargeist did really well, but you could like drop the Vargeist and go for something else in their place. Black Knights, like he had 2 of them, he could also go up to 4 Black Knights. They are really decent in that matchup. So, I mean, there is options for the vampire accounts. Also, his Lord choice, even though it's not a pure meme, it's not necessarily the most optimal one. So, he could go for he could change up a bit with his Lord too. He could even go Vlad. Honestly, Vlad isn't terrible there.
Yeah, Vlad's not
Because
so bad.
his terror is...
Yeah, the terror I think is really
killable.
good. And Kemlar could also be a good one because he has Krell.
Yeah.
A very good anti-large character. It is a summon, but it does last a pretty long time. You just have to...
2 minutes.
Yeah, you just have to use it at the right time and hope that the Skaven don't just kind of move their stuff out of the way, because especially with the mass changes, you make it a little hard to make sure that Krell does stay on target in a big blob fight.
Yeah, because he has like more mass than an infantry unit, but he doesn't have the most mass either. I don't know exactly what level of mass he has, but I'd say like he has monstrous infantry level of mass, which allows him to push through like infantry a bit, but he also gets stuck pretty easily if you don't click frantically. Infantry AV versus range, where Skavens don't necessarily want to go range against Vampire Coast. I mean, they can have a bit of it, but they shouldn't have too much of it, because the Vampire counts, even though they don't have range, are excellent at fighting against range.
I mean, certainly...
Usually they... Yeah,
I was going to say, certain units like... Warplock, like a single Warplock Giselle or even Rattling guns can really zone out any air units, and even the mortar teams still do quite a bit of good work against the infantry, just with how their damage works, doing that poison wind damage over time.
Yeah, but you like having one unit. I think it's fine, but you don't want to over invest in range, because between the wolves, the Black Knights, the Vargeist, the summons, and the bats, and even the breath attacks, and that's a lot that vampire counts actually have against to provide some backline pressure.
Now,
or even the coach.
The Skaven do have a lot of zoning tools as well, even to deal with air, because they do have the Warpstone Scroll that does a lot of damage, can pretty much eliminate a unit of bats on a single cast. You have that other air snare that I forget the name of, and you have the Warp Grinders.
Yeah. I really like the air snare with like air snare plus the teeth breakers is really, really good. It makes you feel really good about yourself when you do it. Like you have, you can almost kill a dragon lord, a vampire lord on a dragon in one cast if you overcast it, and you manage to protect your teeth breaker for the duration of the the duration of the cast. So yeah. Evenstar is ready. Evenstar is pretty quick to make his army most of the time, which, I mean, that's a nice thing.
I mean, especially with his counts, he plays them quite a lot, so against certain factions, I'm sure he has plenty of builds just lined up and ready to go.
Yeah.
It will be interesting, though, to see if he uses a similar build or not. Crabbling, I guess, he does finally ready on up, so yeah, get right on in to this first match.
Okay. too low. Okay, I'm just checking. My cat isn't sick. He just ate too quickly, but he doesn't have like his nose is okay. Yeah, he's not sick. I think he just ate too quickly because he's stupid. Okay. But yeah, under for it, you have usually on this side, that's where the box will be. And if you look, you still have 200 meters, something like that, almost 250 meters towards the edge of the forest. So that gives you some place to work with. You can also deploy right around the obelisk, but there is some pathing issues. I'd say that being a bit more on this forest side of the obelisk is better than around the obelisk. Do you want to go over? I mean, I think it's exactly the same army. Hey, Dardandos, how are you doing?
Yeah,
Who just followed? Hey, Wescape. Wait, you didn't follow
yeah,
before?
I'll go over Skaven then this time round. But they're definitely going for the heavy duty blob build here against the Counts, and that may be a mistake with the build that Evanstar had, but otherwise it is going to be Clan Vulcan Tail Slashers in the front with their fire damage, some Clan Rat Spears in the back with some Skaven Slaves. We have the Council Guard, we have Warp Grinders, we have a couple of Rat Ogres, one of which is the Pit Fighters of Hell's Deep, as we have a third Rat Ogre. We have the Thing, very good, very strong ability if it does get on its target. We have a Plague Priest, of course, so it's its own Mortis engine effect, and it does have both of its summons by the looks of things. Or actually, let's take a quick look. We have Pestilent Breath, and we have Vermintide for the Clan Rat summons, and we have a Grey Seer of Ruin as the Lord, and the Grey Seer is going to be bringing Scorch, Unholy Clamor. We have the Dreaded 13th, which is very good at nuking any blob of the other side. We have Warp Lightning, Howling Warp Gale, and we have Death Frenzy.
Howling Warp Gale.
Yep.
There you go.
And Warpstone Scroll. So he is going for that anti-air, and it's really a lot of control for the Skaven. Otherwise, let's turn it on over to the Counts.
Yeah, it's interesting to see that much control, especially like the Warp Gale to stop the flying unit. However, not even one unit of range to actually like. It's just to stop the enemy from cyclocharging when they want to. It's actually not to do any damage to them while they are in the air. So yeah, you have once again the Strigoi Ghoul King. He has the summons, Nehek, the Potion of Strength, and Bloodlust to make him extra. Like he can have a big melee damage spike at a time. Necromancer with Summon and Forbidden Rod. Mortis Engine, a couple of Creep Ghouls, some Skeleton Spearmen, Königstide Stalker, the Awa, Skeleton Warriors with better stat and Poison, 2 units of Vargeist, and 2 units of Black Knights and the Black Coach. And like he did last time against Energize, he's gonna use a few summons of zombies to distract the enemy while he gets his arm into an optimal position before the engagement. Hello, Escape. And yeah, Dardandos, thank you for telling me about the Screamblocker. I did forget about it once again.
So yeah, the Evanstar taking his time to kind of slowly move his way forward, and yeah, using his summons again to kind of delay the enemy troops. So he's going to be getting that high ground position just on the edge of the tree line as he does kind of move out a bit. He's getting some breath attacks, but none of his breath attacks have done like any damage so far. No. Like that last one, because the breath attack I believe actually targets the guy on top of the bell, so it pretty much missed the entire Grey Seer on that breath attack.
I think he was going after the console guard, actually. I think he was going after the console guard. I mean, if he did, because last time that was his target during the 2 first breath attack were against the console guard, which makes sense. It's a unit that is made to fight a Grandy battle. They won't break. They are anti-large, so they are a good support unit to put your monsters on top of. And if you can get rid of them early, that's a really good pick. That would be a really good pick for the vampire count. However,
It definitely
not
didn't
the
land
best
home on that one. I think he's used up 2 breath attacks so far. Both of them haven't really done a whole lot. But I want to say I'm going to give the advantage to the Skaven in this particular blob fight, because they do have their own Mortis engine with the Plague Priest.
Yeah.
And I think they have better tools to deal with the opponent Plague Priest with the Thing. Well, the Thing and all the Rat Ogres will do quite well. Though the Vargeist will potentially act as mobile Rat Ogres in an extent in this case.
Yeah, I mean the Vargeist are gonna have to use their rear charge. Like if they can rear charge Rat Ogres, they will get some really good value.
And a nice snare
but they
though.
need after that. Yeah.
Keeping that Mortis engine, all those Crypt ghouls from getting their charge off. And yeah, so they're going to be able to, the Skaven are going to be able to engage the Mortis engine kind of outside, though they aren't really targeting it so much. It looks like the Thing is engaging with the Strigoi Ghoul King instead, but now the Vargeist are going to be dropping down kind of around that Greyseer, and we are going to be getting some more summons into the middle of things to kind of get a little bit of leadership penalties. And the Conic Sign Stalkers have taken a ton of damage early on.
Yeah, they are getting massacred, and that I think that could be like really good because they are an annoying unit. Like you already have 1 unit of Crypt Ghoul.
Hopefully we don't get a drop here. Hopefully that wasn't in. No, they are still going. We are going. Good. We have those Conic Sign Stalkers with their poison, so it's them and the Crypt Horrors have the poison for the counts, and losing both of, or at least losing one of those so early on is going to be pretty bad, because that means the Crypt Horrors can only really do that to one target, and that's going to be a little bit unfortunate for them, but not the end of the world.
No, I mean they are gonna try to escape. What I think what could have been not too good for Evenstar right there is that. I mean, his infantry engaged a bit piecemeal, and they lost quite. I mean, he already have 3 to 4 units that are really that took a lot of damage for not that much in return. The their slashers have been taking a bit. Oh, there is gonna be a scorch right there.
Very nice scorch.
It's gonna be a really nice scorch against the skeleton spearman.
Yep, and another snare and warp quake going down, or just the snare, not the warp quake, but keeping everything in place, making sure that the Skaven can do the damage. Well, all of the actually a Warpstone scroll going down on the Vargeist. Yep. Not doing as much damage, but still doing some and slowing them down.
Yeah, I think they are trying to go on the Gracier of Ruin, maybe? Oh no, the Rat Ogres? No, wait, what are they even fighting? It's not clear for me. Like, they just dropped everywhere around the Gracier, but they are not attacking the Gracier itself.
Looks like they dropped down on top of the Council Guard there. So far, Mortis Engine is doing quite well for Evenstar, still alive and well. While the Gracier is starting to take a bit of damage from all of the, I guess, the Vargeist, for example. But the Vargeist have taken a ton in return. The Council Guard have really dished it out to them. Able to actually take one unit out completely.
Warp Grinders, Arflings, also 1 unit of Rat Ogres. Evenstar is choosing to cycle charge with the Black Knights against Gunrat Spears. Maybe, and now there is the...
Dreaded 13th goes down on the top of the Black Knights.
Yeah. The explosion didn't do damage because their models weren't quite on the explosion, but that's still pretty good. How are the Rat Ogres faring? So you have 2 units that are at half health and decent
but
decent leadership.
That Strigoi Ghoul King is not in a good spot right now.
Yeah.
It's getting caught by the Rat Ogres. It's getting Warp Quaked down. Howling Warp Kill got down on top of it as well. And so it is just
go in the air.
So it is in a bad spot right now, going to be crumbling. This could be the way for this game, because the balance power was in the Count's favor for the longest time, but it's gotten back to even. A little bit still counts.
Score too. It might finish that unit. Yep, that unit of the Spearman took a lot of them. He's gonna manage to escape, but he's gonna have to be careful now with his engagement. Will he manage? Yeah, he does manage to escape.
However, the Skaven just haven't been able to deal with that Mortis engine. Likewise, the Counts still have allowed the Skaven to maintain their own. So it's really going to come down to, I think, the monsters in the end of the day, because both sides, their infantry is getting fairly low with that Mortis engine completely draining things away. Black Coach has healed up fairly nicely.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to say who has the clear... Nobody has a clear advantage at this point. The Mortis engine getting pretty lucky right there because the Sing Sing missed all of its hits on it, so that was pretty good for them. An engagement against the Cryptorers by the Thing and the Pit Fighters. Oh, the Rat Ogres need to be careful. They are chasing down some Black Knights, but they were pretty far away from support. Now they are turning back. Good micro.
The Council Guard are actually staying outside of the range of that Mortis engine. That's fairly good heads up by Crabbling. Doesn't want to be losing those before he can deal with that Mortis engine, but it looks like he is going to have to start committing them, as he's going to actually turn to try and peel off these Crypt Ghouls. And the Crypt Ghouls really won't be able to do a whole lot of damage, though it looks like they are kind of caught into that Mortis engine as it has gotten closer.
Oh, another Howling Wargale on the Trigger Ghoul King, so he can't go back in the air, and he's getting pounded by the Thing. That is a really dangerous. He needs to be lucky a bit with the RNG if he doesn't want to die.
But that Thing is getting very low itself, but it is also getting close where it could pop one if it's too horrible to die. But it is getting very, very low, and if that too horrible to die does go off, that is going to be the way for the Skaven to come back, as balance power is continuing to shift more into the Count's favor bit by bit.
There was a really good engagement by the Black Knights against 2 units of Rat Ogres that they managed to break.
And there is one proc of the too horrible to die going off.
Yep, and it's gonna help for certain. Also, the Gracier of Ruin is kind of low in terms of HP itself. Oh, yeah. So it's proccing Fluid Injection. Will it still attack the right unit, though?
It is going after the Strigoi by the looks of things, so that is the target. So it does now look like it's a little distracted now, just going after the zombies. So a nice summon around it, keeping it distracted.
And
so
it's gonna be the end, I think. Because
that is gonna be it. Down goes the Gracier. Plague Priest is not going to be able to withstand all of this. There's just too much left for the Counts. And there is army losses. So once again, Evanstar's Skaven, Counts build doing quite well against Skaven. It is a risky build, to be sure, but it has paid off quite well.
Yeah, no, definitely. And, I mean, he's been very patient, sending his units of infantry 2 at a time. So not too many of them would be in the Mortis engine effect of the Plague Priest. So I think that, that has been really decent. Yeah, I mean, if you look at the value, it's not too bad for the Skavens, but you have to remember that Counts heal a lot. So there is an inflation of the number because you actually do more damage to their units that they cost. You want to see them? Oh, I'm so sorry, Susanka. I didn't show that. Valkonos, are you still in the... No, you left.
What do you mean?
The end screen. I didn't look at the Mortis engine.
I didn't look at that. I pulled out of that. Oh well.
Yeah, sorry, Susanka. It was probably pretty decent. Because it was in the battle, or it was like fighting almost the whole time. Despite being chased by the Thing, it managed to not leave the front for too long. It always came back after a few seconds and starting draining all the units around it once again. So yeah, it probably did a good part of the damage to the Skaven infantry. Yeah. I think, I don't know how, maybe it's just me, but I feel like Rat Ogres aren't that good in such a closed box, where they can't charge or really use their speed. They just have to grind, and I feel like they are good roadblocks if you don't force them to stay in and grind for too long, but they're not the best grind. They're not crypto rurs, basically, I'd say. I don't know, maybe a box a bit more open would have helped them.
So yeah, Evanstar is going to be going Tomb Kings for this next match on the Ogum Shard, and he's going to be banning High Elves and Counts.
Yep.
So another faction he is quite strong with.
Yeah. I mean, I really like Tomb Kings. Tomb Kings and High Elves at this point are my two main factions. I mean, Tomb Kings are... I like them both for the same reason. It's basically that they're really general faction that have a bit of everything, are good at pretty much everything, or at least decent at everything, so you can make really army that... you can make the army you want with them. You're not limited by the faction. Oh, and it's gonna be Britannia for Crabbling, which is a good choice. Britannia these days is extremely strong.
Yep, and especially against Tomb Kings, like back before the Grim and the Paunch one, the Tomb Kings actually had the advantage, but with the changes to poison and just the costs of like Green Knight and other things like that, Britannia actually I think has the advantage now.
Mm-hmm. I still think you need one casket.
It can definitely pay for itself because Britannia doesn't have any good tools to quickly snipe it out.
Exactly. And the thing is, like, with the casket, you can really choose what you want, because yes, at first you're probably gonna go shoot at the archers because you don't have that many good tools to go after the enemy archers, at least at the beginning of the battle, when the enemy knights are kind of all over them. But after that, the casket also does so much damage to enemy cav.
Yeah, especially if it does get
exactly.
The casket can be dodged, but not always the easiest to do. It does have a fairly good spread, but it looks like the Crabbling did end up dropping, so we'll have to wait for him to come on back.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he had an army pretty much selected already. I think there was probably a bit more funds, but not that much available. But yeah, like a casket shot can do so much to elite cav. If they happen to, for example, blob on one of your units, let's say you have a kitty cat, for example, and they want to kill it with 2 units of questing knights, you can nuke one of them in one go. Because once they're engaged, it's harder for them to dodge, because dodging the casket means disengaging from the combat and taking damage while they retreat. So
both sides are readied up, so let's get on into this. Actually, I think I have an idea of what Evanstar is going to do here. In previous tournaments, I've seen him take double War Sphinxes with double of those Necronites. But the problem with that is with the mass changes, because before that was used to kind of break apart the hero blob, and that's a lot harder to do now. So I wonder if he's changed up his strategy with this latest changes.
Red Legion. That would be interesting. I feel like it's not as favorable as it's used to. And Britannia definitely has good tools. I think that, the Tomb Kings aren't in a huge... it's not a hugely difficult matchup either. I think it's 50-50. Maybe still slightly Tomb Kings favored. How are you doing, Red Legion? Up. Okay, so Aerocrastic is casting the Salad Cup now that it's the semi-finals. Which army do you want to go over? Britannia?
I can take Tomb Kings if you want to go over Britannia first.
Sure. Okay. I'll grace you with my French accent on Britannia. So you have a front line of battle pilgrims with the Holy Warden of La Maison Tale, the Awa, fire damage, fire and magic damage. Battle pilgrims, they are really good. I mean, battle pilgrims, they are sometimes a bit expensive for what they do, but against Tomb Kings, they trade well with Tomb Guards and they destroy skeleton infantry really quickly. And the Awa version is even okay if they are fighting the Kepra Guard, thanks to their magic damage. So, I don't know, fire damage, I mean. So, yeah, they're really good there. 1, 2, 3, 4 units of box arrows, a staple against the Tomb Kings, 2 units of men-at-arms polearms that recently got a cost debuff, so they are a bit better, probably, than they used to. I haven't seen them in action yet. And for the cav, you have the Defenders of the Fleur de Lis, Questing Knights, Knights of the Realm, and the Compagnon de Quenelle. As the Lord, it's the Fae, and you have Gotrek, the Fae, coming with Awakening of the Wood, Hearth's Blood, and Regrowth, with also, actually has the Chalice of Potion, and the Favor of the Fae that gives plus 44 melee attack for a short period of time. And Gotrek is naked. There you go.
So for the Tomb Kings, it is definitely a very different build from what I've typically seen from Evanstar. He does have the casket, as we were talking about a bit earlier, but he also has High Queen Khalida. So the High Queen Khalida...
She's really good.
She did get a nice little buff to her armor, so she's a lot much better in combat, and she has kind of a mixed toolkit though she has brought in her Venom Wave instead of her abilities that kind of buff the range, so she is going to be supporting that front line. We do have a Necrotech as well on his Chariot, and he's going to bring in his Restore ability. For the casting, we do have a Lich Priest of Nehekara bringing...
And there you go.
The Curse of Dejaf. Or not, and the Incantation of Desiccation, or Incantation of Curse Blades and Incantation of Desiccation. So good blob debuffs. We have a front line, just skeleton warriors. For the most part, some skeleton spears in the back. And then we do have those Necropolis Knights with halberds, a pair of those, and we have a Necrosphinx for some nice anti-large. But otherwise, that's going to be it. And yeah, now we are going to having both advancing and a nice little Awakening of the Wood right in the middle of the skeleton warriors.
I don't know what the casket is shooting at right now. Oh, it's shooting at the end. Are they gonna dodge? Yeah, that's why, like, at first I'd rather shoot at the archers, because they can't really dodge, and wait until the cav is engaged before you start shooting at it with the casket. But I mean, good damage by High Queen Khalida and the Knights of the Realm, honestly, like killing 0 models. Wow, kinda sad. But doing decent HP damage at least. Oh god, thank you, Suave. Thank you, I'm so sorry. Whew. Talendos, guys, I'm sorry about this. I really need a second monitor. This isn't acceptable. And okay, nice hit there from the casket once again. Necropolis Knights fighting the Defender of the Fleur de Lis. I mean, they're gonna do okay there.
Yep, we got some more nice Awakening in the Woods going off in the back of these skeleton warriors, who are in a nice little box formation, so it's really maximizing the damage that those Awakening in the Wood can do.
Oh,
yep, and nice Chalice of Potions kind of coming down.
And it's gonna be dodged.
Yeah.
It's always the case with the Chalice. Always dodged.
It's such a long wind-up time, so Evanstar was able to push his Knights through, and they don't really want to be in with that Men-at-Arms with polearms, so they'll probably be pulling out here. But Casket of Souls is still free to fire.
Exactly.
Oh, nice damage there.
It was perfect. Yes. Also, Khalida is hunting down the Fae. She can't like catch her because the Fae is 95 speed, so there is no catching her. But every time she hit her, she does really good damage. The Fae has to be careful. Like Khalida would destroy her.
Yep, Khalida also does have poison, so that will help with some of the cav engagements and the like. But otherwise, yeah, that High Queen... I mean, Khalida doesn't want to get too far ahead of herself. She does get a nice Earthblood, though, off, healing up the defenders and herself.
And Gotrek is in the vicinity, so if Khalida were to be surrounded by the by some cav, for example, she could be in a difficult situation. But she's relentless and keeping keeping the chase on the fair for now. One of the unit of Necro Knights is dead completely. Yeah, one of them is completely gone. So there is only one unit of Necro Knights still left.
And then Gotrek was getting a few hits off onto Khalida. Khalida probably just wants to kind of pull off at this point, though at the time it is keeping Gotrek's attention away from the Necrosphinx itself. However, that the Lich Priest is not in a good spot either right now, as it is kind of getting beat down by the defenders of Fleur de Lis, and the last unit of Necro Knights are getting a little collapsed upon as well.
However, the Cascade, after breaking the one unit of Questing Knights, I think that was the Questing Knight, or maybe the Knights of the Realm, also destroyed the Companions of Canal. So, I mean, that Cascade has been doing a good job, and now the defenders of the Fleur de Lis are broken too. So, like, there is only one unit of Questing Knights really left, and then it's infantry. And the infantry, good thing there is Gotrek, because there isn't that much left that can actually threaten the Necrosphinx besides Gotrek.
Right, and there is still the men-at-arms with polearms, and there's still some battle pilgrims left. We do have the Ushabti summon off in the back, routing off the last of the peasant bowmen. Maybe that would have been best to hold off until later, though, especially with how this is going to shape up with a monster, or I guess a Gotrek on the monster fight, to at least have something to kind of keep it away.
Yeah, especially when you have a Necrotech on a chariot that can... I mean, there is not much cav now to threaten the chariot, so you can just roam the backline with it and destroy every peasant that you see. But you wanted to make sure probably that they won't be back, so Khalida and the Ushabti summon is killing the archers. However, the Cascade is finally gonna get shut down after doing like 67 kills, but a good part of that went on 2 nights. So.
And yeah, the Necrosphinx also does go down to Gotrek's axe, and balance of power.
Wait, already?
It got caught in with those questing knights, and that was where that mass change really kind of played a big role there, because it wasn't able to pull out, and Gotrek was able to finish it off. And now balance of power is in the Britannia's favor.
Yeah, I mean, Gotrek really did a number on it, because it had decent HP before engaging with Gotrek. It wasn't like almost dead, but and another shot, and the Cascade, does a last shot before dying.
Yeah,
Balance of power now firmly in the end of...
Don't think the Tomb Kings can deal with a full health Gotrek at this point.
No, especially since it's mostly... I mean, besides that some Necropolis Knights, and that one unit of Skeleton Spearman. I mean, it's almost just single entities. So he needs to protect his 2 last multi-entity units if he doesn't want to be stuck in combat and not able to cycle charge.
At this point, don't think it's going to make a whole lot of difference. I mean, High Queen Khalida is very far away from everything else. Not going to be able to have any assistance.
Yeah.
The shots won't be doing that much. She does have quite a bit of armor, so she should be fine from that, but I think she'll probably won't even make it back to this engagement, as I'm sure army losses are going to trigger before then.
Yeah, I mean, the Necropolis Knights got charged by the Fae and the Questing Knights. I mean, it's going to be the end for them. And the Necrotech can only do so much, and at this point, it's 3 single entity for the Tomb Kings, so they can't disengage once they are in melee. I mean, they still can, because there's 2 Necropolis Knights left that refuse to die, but one, and it's gonna die soon. Yeah, it's dead.
Yeah,
no more disengaging.
Now just everything else is just gonna get dragged down. Necrotech is down, and Evanstar is gonna concede, knowing that he doesn't have any way back in. So once again, Britannia showing that Gotrek and the Fae, a very strong combo.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to look. How much value did you get? 1,500 for the Cascade. Decent. Necrosphinx, 700. That's why I hate Necrosphinxes. I don't know. For me, they never... Have you seen a Necrosphinx perform of late? When's the last time you've seen a Necrosphinx actually...
A Necrosphinx will perform well if it's like against another large target. So like a dragon or Kolek, for example, something like that. Against Cav, not necessarily as good in my opinion. However, the Necropolis Knights did quite well, 1,600.
Yeah.
And yeah,
I mean, one of them. The other, not so much. But yeah, really against chaos, yeah, maybe like if you fear Kolek or even against the Griffon Knight, maybe that can be worth it. But it's such a big investment. I feel like it can perform okay, but for the cost it has, you have better other options most of the time. Yeah.
all right. I'll be right back while they pick their picks for this third match.
Yeah. Okay. Like the Knights of the Realm, where they got killed by the Cascade and the Necro Knights early, so these guys didn't perform well. So these were the left side, and they got massacred. Companions of Canal not doing too well either. It was decent. These guys almost paid for themselves. The archers, as always, yeah, most of them paid for themselves. Infantry, if you look at that, you're like, most units barely paid for themselves, but they still won. So that's pretty interesting. Like, they didn't pay for themselves. They barely did. They didn't. They didn't. They did. They didn't. They did a bit. Them also. They barely did. They didn't. They didn't. They did. They did. And Gotrek barely didn't. The Fae probably same. So it's interesting to see that an army, if you look at just the raw cost, it doesn't feel like any unit really perform incredibly well. But at the end of the day, they still had some mass at the end, and the enemy was completely destroyed. Yeah, the Bernefron things did do well in the Ever Chosen. I know, way. But did I remember to put back the screen blocker? Yes, I did. I know they did, but I don't know. I think it's more like it was really well used, and it was good against the army of who was it? Who was it that was facing the double Necros things? I remember the battle, but I don't remember which play. I think it was a VM player, either Vistek or Evenstar, that was using it. But I'm not completely sure. Okay, Chaos for Crabbling, High Elfen Bread. Banning High Elfen Bread. Okay. Vistek versus Soothsayer. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. I mean, I didn't remember it was Soothsayer, but I knew it was Vistek. Yeah, it was... Yeah, sometimes unit will perform when in battle, especially in the right build at the right moment, but I still think they are more of a niche thing. I think you see Necros things is too much for what they bring to the battle most of the time, even if sometimes they do their job. So it looks like Vampires for Evenstar versus Chaos for Crabbling. I kind of like that matchup from the Chaos perspective. It's not the worst, honestly. Just need to... Oh god, I need Red Legion. Ban them, please.
All right, I'm back.
There you go. I did.
So Chaos banning High Elf Brett, and Evenstar is countering with Coast.
Yep. That kind of... And like I even feel like against big monsters, yes, I mean they will do their job, but they are clunky and kind of slow. I feel like you have better options to kill big monsters like Storm Kings instead of Necros things. most of the time. Like you can shoot at them, you can drag them down with numbers, cycle charging. But yeah, if they are fighting big monsters, they will do decent. Their animation are also like really slow, I feel. I don't know how many seconds it takes them to like do an attack animation. I feel it's like forever. But I think at that point it's personal bias. Oh, I like Crabbling's army. I don't know what Evanstar has planned, but yeah, I think it's a pretty good army from Crabbling.
Yeah, definitely traditionally Chaos has had quite the disadvantage in this. But I think in some previous tournaments since the DLC, they've proven to have some teeth.
Yeah. It's hard to, like, I'd say the cost was nerfed, even by the loss of models, even if they're, like, each model now does more damage.
Yeah, just overall the survivability is what kind of got dropped a bit, so they don't last so long.
Yeah, exactly. They still do decent for their cost. You enter Untitled? No. Well, are you using your the 4G on your phone now, then? Yeah, no, I agree, Wescape. Deck droppers are a pain to deal with as chaos. Okay. So we are at 1-1 right now, right?
Yes, that is correct. So the winner of this match will be forced to play Skaven for the rest.
Okay. Do you want to win then?
And for Crabbling, I'm sure he'd be just happy with that because he definitely plays Skaven quite a bit.
Oh.
Right.
Yeah, no, that's true.
I'll go over Chaos then, and I'll take Coast.
Yeah, sure. So for Chaos, it's a pretty rushy build with 5 units of 4 units of 4 second with the Demon Spew on the right. The first. Thank you, Swar. There you go. That's why you have viewers, because they remember the screen blocker for you. So front line of 4 second with the Demon Spew have better stats. They cause poison contrary to the others, and also they have the Swarm of Life that debuffs enemy melee attack around them. So pretty rushy. The Mirror Guard in the middle. Mirror Guard just like incredibly good. So tank unit that is also immune to psychology. So it's a great tank in the middle. And 2 units of Chaos Spawn. So really the idea of the 4 second and Chaos Spawn is to overwhelm and massacre the deck and mobs as quickly as possible to get to the juicy backline. You have 2 units of Horsemasters, 3 units of Horsemasters, 2 units of Horsemen, and 1 unit of Hounds to get to the backline too. Yes, I think 1 unit of Hounds. And the leader is Archeon on foot with Slayer of King. He's on a Drogo. He has Slayer of King, Cascading Fire Cloak, Flaming Sword of Ruin, and Burning Head.
Yeah, for for the Coast, we do have Luther Harkon up on his Terrorgeist. We have a couple of deck droppers with handguns and 2 of the regular variant. So a lot of firepower. Now those horsemen are going to do quite well at zoning them out. And we have the Necrofex Colossus as well, kind of up in the forefront, firing away. But for the bulk of the army, though, it's just going to be some deckhand mobs mixed in with a Vampire Caster on a Crab and 3 Morghuls as well. So no handguns, it's all going to be in the air. So we'll see if these horsemen are going to be able to hold off against all of this air firepower. And yeah, there's definitely going to be Coast's motive here is to deal with those horsemen as quickly as possible, because all that focus fire can do a lot of work on the bats and to even Luther himself.
Yeah, the issue for the Cav, right, has been the Necrophex Colossus destroying a full unit of my other Horsemaster that are now gonna be escorted out and doing some damage to another. So yeah, the Necrophex can do really good damage to Cav. One of the unit of Archeon got Hornswaggled and is now fighting against Luther. Honestly, Luther needs to be careful. Like
Yeah,
Archeon is no joke, even for such a good duelist as Luther. Yeah,
yeah,
he knows that he has to retreat because he took 40% of his HP to nothing for Archeon.
and then Archeon didn't even have his Slayer. Oh, now he has Slayer of Kings popped going
Yeah.
before that. It's Vampire Fleet Captain, and
Ooh,
man, that was a
yeah.
ton of damage off of just one hit. He's only like 2 or 3 hits away from finishing him off there, as the Chaos Spawner
Oh no,
quickly.
he got stuck by his zone Chaos Spawn. That may have saved the Vampire Fleet Captain. Honestly,
At least for the
that's just
time being.
trying to-
But here is going to be a nice burning head, going to go right through this front line of coast troops here. But it's going to catch a few of the Forsaken as well, so a bit of friendly fire. So I'm not really sure if that was necessarily as worth it. But it did clear out a lot of chaff.
They kind of deserve it.
Once again, Luther trying to go for Archaon. I think he's learned from that first scuffle he had with them that Archaon can do quite a bit of damage to him.
Oh, what's good is that right now Archeon isn't being microed, so he's hitting the Pirate Decon mob, and they're gonna be a 2v1ing against Archeon. Archeon put on himself playing Sword of Ruin and cascading Fire Cloak, which our friend Luther is weak to fire, so he needs to be careful. And now, I mean, a lot of the numbers on one of the flanks for the Vampire Coast has been killed, so now you have Forsaken and Chaos Spawn coming to the support of their lord and leader Archeon.
And pretty much all of the coast, I guess, infantry and monsters here are all crumbling right now. Only Luther and the Vampire Fleet Captain really have stable leadership, as well as the Necrophex. Necrophex is dealing with the Horsemen fairly well, but I think Luther needs to prioritize the rest of these Chaos Infantry a lot more than Archaon, because Archaon, though he has taken a bit of damage, Luther is going to almost go down here if he takes another hit.
I mean, if he takes...
And down he goes. Ooh, that is...
And if now the Vampire Fleet Captain is targeted, I mean, that could be terrible.
So, I mean, despite the balance of power is pretty even, but man, there's just not a whole lot left for the coast. But Archaon does route, so this might be a way for coast back into it.
If they can finish Archaon and make sure he doesn't come back, I mean, that's no more magic for him. I mean, he's gonna get shot at. He should be killed. Also, do you know what happened to the fort? Like 7 bats just dropped from the sky.
I mean, the focus fire from those horsemen do quite a number to the bats.
Yeah, but they weren't even in the vicinity. I don't know. Well, Archeon actually will survive longer than the Vampire Fleet Captain. I mean, even if Archeon goes down, I think this is looking really good for Chaos at this point. Like, Luther staying in combat for too long, overestimating his forces was really, I think...
Yeah, this is game. Like, there's nothing that can kill the Chaos Spawn. Those Mongols are going to go down, and the deck droppers are going to go down fairly quickly as well. Yeah. Just not enough to...
And I mean, the Mirror Guard by itself, I think the Mirror Guard could finish the Necrophex Colossus in melee. So.
Mirror Guard is pretty much at full health too. They're just,
Yeah.
Chaos just had the build. This is actually a build very similar to what I saw from Zero against me not too long ago, where, this is definitely, I think, the way that Chaos can handle this quite well.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean,
Archaon...
Forsaken are not good everywhere, but against like zombie like that, they do the job.
Archaon,
and they do it quickly.
Archaon just racked up the value, 3,500. That is...
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing on the coast side did that well.
No, I mean, Luther still did 2,500. I don't even know how. Like, was it an Archeon? Because basically, what did he do besides fighting Archeon?
That was pretty much what he was doing, was fighting Archeon. He was firing his shots throughout the fight, but it was pretty much all on Archeon. Yeah. And I think he needed to try and deal with the Chaos Spawn and the rest before him. He just couldn't engage Archeon in one-on-one combat.
Yep. But yeah, really nice victory from Crabbling there. I like the army. That I mean, yeah, the bats did do their job. Almost all of them had decent value, but they just weren't enough to compensate how quickly the troops on the ground got killed. Yes, Lex, that's definitely what I said. Farting Archean. um, yeah. Lucky Archean? What? You've never been... That's not something you can do, Lex? You have like internal disabilities or something? What's the next map? Swamp of Terror.
Swamp
Okay.
of Terror,
I mean,
yep.
it's a good map. Is it... did Jay pick it?
Ah, yes, Jay picked these maps.
Okay, because I know that Swamp of Terror is her favorite map. I know that.
Yeah, projectiles have a nice little glow to them. If Britannia, you get a nice little light show.
Yeah, no, definitely. I actually didn't know that until she showed me. One another map that can have that is Storm Demon. Storm Demon also have these like red purple colors that do these nice effects. Well, I'm sorry, Lux. I'm really sorry. Yeah, so now Crabbling has to go Skaven, but that's not too much to ask for them. Too much to ask from him.
Very true.
I mean, he did lose his first game as a Skaven in these finals against 7-star vampire counts. Wait, I'm looking for something. Where are? Oh no! Crap. Well, I'll do that later, I guess. Okay, and Evan Star can pick can pick whatever. That's the idea.
I believe it's still picks and bans. It may not. Okay, actually, they may only pick Skaven. It may not ban any other faction.
Okay, and if next game is won by Evan Star, then they will do
Skaven Mirror.
Skaven Mirror. Yeah, Skaven Mirror is, I mean, something.
Yeah, that's the way to describe it. Something.
I mean, I don't know. It's like Skaven Mirror was used to just be who micros Ratogers better. I don't know if the patch changed anything about that. Because it used to be just the Ratogger numbers and effectiveness.
Yep, so now it's going to be Skaven versus Norska.
Give me a second. Up, there I go. Okay, so did I put on the screen blocker? Was I smart? Yes. Okay. Okay, so Crabbling had an army mostly built. I just saw him upload an army. It was lacking I think 2,000 or 3,000 in it. So he has a plan against Norska.
Yeah, this used to be
which is a matchup you can pretty often.
And Norska used to have this pretty much handedly in their favor. Now, with I think Throt in particular, that provides a lot of counter monster power, where pretty much Wolfric on his Mammoth is very risky because of how quickly he can be taken down.
And also they have more mobility and a capacity to fight skin wolves, because skin wolves were really like 4 skin wolves and a few like Norscan Warhounds or...
Skin wolves are still very good here, but...
But you have a bit more abilities to fight back against them with your own mobility. For example, you can poison them and drag them down. Like, they can't cycle charge you as easily as they used to. You can force the engagement with them a bit easier. I think Brood Horrors actually do fine against them because they kill Mod Horrors. They just need to be careful to not get surrounded by skin wolves, basically.
I think we'll definitely either see a Packmaster or Throt here, potentially both. Scroll can also be quite good here just because of Skaven are going to be on the defensive. I doubt Crabbling will go with an aggressive Skaven build, but
against Norska, it would be extremely risky.
Yeah, because Norska is going to have to come to you, and Skaven can take advantage of that very easily.
Yeah, I mean, for Scroll, the idea is Rod of Corruption could really help in endgame, especially. And yeah, the leader Bubonicus doesn't do much against Wolfric because he has such a big HP pool. However, it's pretty nice against the Femir Belfind. That's a good target for Liber Bubonicus because it will do, I think, a bit more than 1,000 damage. So.
Alright, and we are loading on in as Crabbling is up 2-1.
Yep. Oh yeah, this map is beautiful, honestly. That was also my first victory that was casted. The first time I played on that map, it was the King of the Hill by Turin. First time I was participating in the King of the Hill by Turin, and I beat someone, Galahad, I think. So that I have good memories actually with this map. I just forgot about it for months until Jay showed it to me again. Which army do you want to go over?
I'd like to go over Norska if that's fine with you.
That's completely fine. I know that's a faction you play quite a lot.
Okay,
No,
yeah.
this time it was on purpose, well, okay? I remember that I needed to bring down the...
A Blackthorn, welcome back. So, for Norska, we are going to see quad skin wolves. All of them just the regular variant, no armored skin wolves. We also have a pair of feral manticores up in the sky. Now, without the Lore of Beasts...
armored skin wolves?
There's no armored skin wolves.
Okay.
And the two,
like,
and the two feral manticores. So without the Lore of Beasts, feral manticores still quite good against Skaven, against their weapons teams and their characters. Still quite useful there.
Yeah.
We do have Wolfric the Wanderer. Looks like he is on horseback, so he is avoiding the fate of being up on his mammoth. Actually, he is on foot, not horseback. So we have Footfric today.
Footfreak.
And we have a Shaman Sorcerer of Fire with Fireball, the Flaming Sword, and Burning Head. So lots of lower fire there. Go after some of the regenerating units, and good against just a low armored Skaven. Frontline, just going to be Marauders across the board. A couple of Marauder Spearmen, and a trio of Marauder Horsemen or Marauder Hunters with Javelins. So a very, very spread out army, and those Javelins going to do quite well against the large targets of the Hell Pits and the like. So now over to Skaven.
I just want to say that Wolfric has a Sword of Torquemad.
Ah, yes. So looking to do something.
It's not something you see too often, but when he's on foot, if you pop the Sword of Torquemad, it's plus 90% of his base weapon damage. And you're always like, oh, but that's not as good as armor piercing. But against Skaven, it's actually extremely good. Like against Croak, he would hit at 700 against Croak with the Sword of Torquemad. It's Croak not having the base test people. So,
yep, and adding Hunter Champions to that as well.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay. For the Skaven, you have front line of Skaven slaves with spear. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. Behind that, you have 2 units of Clanrat spears with shields. 4 units of Rat Ogres, one of them being the Awa with Berserk, which is, I guess, thematic against Norska, and also just better stats. And 1 Warp Grinder to snare a bit, Poison Wind Mortar to shoot at, for example, the Marauder Javelins would be a good target for that. Clone Vulcan's Tail Slasher to reinforce the front line a bit. And finally, a single entity of 1 Assassin with the Skaven Brew that got a buff recently, if I'm not mistaken. And Trophy Head and Revel Hat Talisman. Scroak with Leader Bubonicus, Road of Corruption and no, it's not Road of Corruption. It's Corruption something. I never remember. No, it's Road of Corruption. Okay, I'm not completely dumb. And the thing, and in terms of spell, Scroll has his summon and the Pestilent Breath. Okay, and as I said, the Poison Wind Mortars shooting at the Javelins because they're a really good target. Second Fireball into the Pit Fighters, having killed 2 models for now.
Yep, the Javelins are definitely the target these Poison Wind Mortars want to be targeting, because that is the biggest threat to the Hell Pit and the Rat Ogres.
Yeah. Oh, Plague! Doing no damage, but Plague, oh, also a boat.
Oh, that Burning Head's gonna
And
do... Oh, that's doing a lot of damage there. Roasting through these Skaven.
Yeah, that's actually really good. Also the Plague spell, I mean, it cost a lot and it did nothing there, so...
The Orc Grinders are snaring down a lot of the units, keeping those Skin Wolves at bay, but the Feral Manticores do take off.
Yeah, and they are gonna try and jump on a little Scrotic Boy. Rival Hard Talisman, however, from the Assassin that comes to help, and the thing. So the... Yeah, right now the Manticores have zero melee attack, so they won't do too good. And oh yeah, you need to be careful to not get outside of the range. But yeah, the thing is gonna take care of one of them, and Stroke and the Assassin are gonna try to get the other.
Now Wolfric does need to be a little careful of that Assassin though, because even with the Feral Manticore approaching him, the thing is gonna slowly start moving its way forward, and without any chaff to really distract it, it could be a pretty good opportunity for it to use its liquid injection.
I mean, when he's on foot, he has good stat, but he doesn't have the most HP. So, I mean, especially when he has an Assassin's Trophy on his head, he's taking a lot of damage. He should still win against the Assassin one-on-one, but...
Yeah, but with everything else around, though, it looks like the Skaven really haven't been able to have enough stuff on top of that Assassin to assist him. So even though Wolfric was engaged with that Assassin, he is able to pull off both the Assassin and the Poison Wind Mortars, at least for now. And Norska does have a fairly considerable advantage at this point.
I mean, they have Skin Wolves everywhere. We haven't been focusing too much on the rest because of the Lord fight, but the fact is, besides the middle that went pretty okay for Skavens, everything else went in the favor of Norska. Out of the 4 units of Radogers, none are left. They are all fleeing.
Yeah, and while Wolfric does get pulled off right now, it's still just not looking good for them. I mean, all the Skin Wolves, there's just way too much left, I think, for the Skaven to deal with, even though the thing is still sitting pretty good health. Yeah, there's just too much left, I think. So Norska quickly overrunning the Skaven. Army losses will take it.
Less than 5-minute battle. Yeah, that's a violent one.
That will put us into the rubber match.
Yeah, which will be a mirror match.
Skaven versus,
mirror match.
Yep. Everyone's gonna love that.
Yeah, but yeah, if you look at the Rat Ogres, I mean, the one that got the most value got 412. So I mean, they really underperformed. Well, if you compare with the Skin Wolves, I mean, the Skin Wolf actually, in terms of raw value, didn't get much better.
That Feral Manticore did a lot of work.
Yeah, I mean, fighting the Assassins, Croak, and the Poison Wind Mortars. I mean, all high-value targets and doing good damage to them. But there was actually 3 units of Mother Javelin. For some reason, I only saw 2 of them.
One of them got rounded off pretty early, but...
Okay. Oh, the Tail Slashers got 22 value. Oh, that's painful. Rough. I don't even know how they did.
I think they got roasted by that Burning Head early on.
Oh, yeah, probably. I'm gonna bring back the blocker. Up. Yeah, it's a VM Civil War, exactly. We are gonna see what's gonna happen. I mean, 2-2. It's always good when a final goes to the rubber match. I like what I see from Crabbling. It's a risky I mean, it's a risky way to go about it, but I like the idea. Okay. I need to like stretch a bit again if I want to survive for like another hour before I go to sleep. Will you entertain the chat? Fine on your own, Valkonos,
All
for a
right.
minute or two? Okay, I'll be back.
Yes, yeah, Black Form 5-minute battle is the Norscan way for sure. That was quite the entertaining one. Lots of quick burning heads, and yeah, those feral manticores did so much work. Definitely reason why Lore Beast is often brought against the Skaven, just how good they are against the characters of the Skaven. And this one, Skaven Mirror, that's going to be a fun one as it always is. But no better way than to end the Smokin Skaven style tournament than with a Skaven Mirror. And it's going to be a blob fight, is my guess. That's kind of how this one shakes out for the most part. You can bring some range units, maybe a warp fire. Rattling guns could be pretty good at close range, doing some burst damage, but it's going to be quite the interesting one. But yeah, it was nice to see Wolfric on foot. Definitely in that matchup with Throt being such a threat. In that particular one, it was just the thing. However, yeah, with Throt, you can completely nuke down the Wolfric on his Mammoth so quickly because he has the Rat Ogre summon, and then he has the ability that gives him and surrounding units a plus 16 bonus versus large, I believe it is, which is pretty considerable and can really do quite well. Yeah, I mean, I think we'll see a bit more Wolfric on foot in some subsequent battles, just because that, I mean, seeing that Sword of Torgal and actually see him as a duelist more so as a, I guess, Hunter of Champions and Seafang conduit. Yeah, I might hear the pups in the background, getting a little anxious.
I'm back. Hey, Wicked. How are you doing? Enjoying your Friday night? Because when other people end their weekend, Wicked starts his. Just got home. 2 whole beers. Oh my god, living it up. I mean, indeed. Don't talk to me too much about alcohol today. I'm still recuperating. You talked to me yesterday. You know what I'm talking about.
Going too hard on Saturday nights.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, like, I forgot to charge my cell phone yesterday night before I went to sleep. So when I went to sleep at 8 a.m., something like that. And I woke up in full panic mode. No idea when it was. And here it's like, I mean, since it's winter on a rainy day, it was really dark. I was like, oh god, I feel like it must be like 8 p.m. What have I done? I've missed the tournament. And then I look, it was noon. I actually slept like 4 hours.
You might have slept later than I did, and I'm in the States.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. It wasn't even a karaoke night. Usually it's for karaoke night that I stay up that late, but yesterday, not even. Age of Empire like a nerd. Oh, you accidentally closed your alarm last night? Yeah, I've noticed that because like in your weekends, Wicked, you don't have your alarms and you still wake up at like 2 a.m. So.
All right, well,
Okay,
contestants
they are
ready.
getting ready.
Here we go. Skaven Mirror. Gotta feel like Crabbling's got the advantage being such a Skaven main, but we'll see.
Yeah, but like he won 2 victories at this point, and that was the 2 times he wasn't playing with Skaven.
That's right. He's lost twice with Skaven today in this round.
So let's see if he can at least get a win with them when it counts, the rubber match. Let's go explore a bit where they load. So many scares everywhere. So many huge monsters died in the past. Because that's way bigger than a giant. I don't know what it was, but it was fucking huge.
Well, I'll go over
Okay.
Crabbling, I guess. So,
Crabbling Skaven. So.
I mean, Crabbling Skaven, going to be clan rats for the front with a couple of plague monks to help chew through the enemy Skaven slaves and clan rats. We have a lot of mobility with 4 wolf rats, all of which with poison, and then we have a bunch of rat ogres in the rear as well. 4 units of those, and we have Lord Skrolk as the hero with his Rod of Corruption, Liber Bubonicus, and I believe his summons on top of that. So we have Vermintide, we have Plague, and we have Pestilent Birth as well, kind of counteract a lot of that. Aura Pestilence as well, -5 melee attack. And nothing else. That's all it's going to be for. And we do have an Assassin as well to hunt down the enemy characters with Rival Hide Talisman and Assassin's Trophy and Skaven Brew on top of that. That's going to wrap things up. And now for Evanstar's build.
Okay, so for Evanstar, he doesn't have pure melee, he has a bit of range. So he has Nanibubu sharpshooters and poison wind mortars that are gonna do nice damage. The mortars probably gonna focus the plague monks since they are like higher value than the clan rats. You have 1 unit of hounds, poison hounds, Packmaster, Morkestar, Alien, the mutant rat ogre Arwa with the Zap Zap ability. Oh, the whole army disappeared. Where did they go? A Plague Priest with is it this? That's Plague? Wait, where did you go? Where did you go, little buddy? Okay, there you are. There you are, my friend. So it's Pestilent Burst, Vermintide, and Pestilent Breath. Okay, that's what I thought. 2 units of Plague Monks, a front line of Skaven Slave and Clan Rats, and that's it. So it's interesting to see that. Maybe we'll see how it holds up, but before the patch, like not going for Rat Ogres was really extremely risky and would almost never work. But apparently he's gonna substitute them for 1 Mutant Rat Ogre and 2 Brute Horrors, because you have Throat the Inkling with all his buff and summon of 1 unit of Rat Ogre. Also, Wolf Rats really good there against Skavens because they are really quick. They do good damage to lightly armored infantry, and also once a unit routes, the Skaven finally have something to make sure they don't come back, which against Skaven is pretty good because units will tend to flee a lot and then come back. Ooh, did they get the tick? Yes,
Just clipping one of them. Yes, I think the mobility advantage will be, at least to an extent, in the advantage of Crabbling. Now, the Packmaster and Throt are going to be able to do a bit of counter play on that, because they'll be harder to take down, and I think they're going to actually be able to terrify 1 unit, and I think they terrify both units. But Rat Ogre's coming in, and I think
the Rat Ogres can do work on them if they manage to get a good surround, which apparently with the support of the Plague Monks. Oh, the Plague Monks actually decided to disengage, which may have been a mistake because it allowed the 2 Brute Horrors to escape. Wolf on Wolf action in the background, and in the front line, Evanstar is retreating right now.
And yeah, those Nanibubu sharpshooters going to get collapsed upon by the wolf rats with poison, but we do have plague monks, should be able to peel them off. And the wolf rats for Evanstar that were chasing off got chased off themselves.
Yeah, but the poison wind mortars actually, like, they open fire and they managed to break the hounds, but they actually shot at the buboes and the plague monks at the same time, which, I mean, I guess at the end of the day was worth it. The buboes only lost 5 models, but they lost a lot of their HP in that.
I mean, problem is though, in the retreat that Evanstar was trying to do, those poison wind mortars got caught out. They are being able to pull back through their infantry now, but they were kind of shut down, at least for the time being, and took some damage in the process.
Yeah, and they are very close to breaking, and there is another unit of wolf rats getting into position. Oh, yeah, they broke. Also, once again, Crabbling going for Plague. And once again, Evanstar just moving 15 meters away and avoiding the damage completely. Road of Corruption and Ravelhat talisman for Crabbling and the
Yeah,
Big Blood.
the Plague Priest able to get a nice summon of Clan Rats in the rear to peel off those Wolf Rats, but it just wasn't in time as those Nanny Boo Boos do route off the map. So things looking pretty good for Crabbling.
Is broken. Yeah, the Backbuster being broken is already also pretty excellent. Like if the Wolf Rat managed to just make, I mean, he's so close to the white line, he may not come back. I don't think.
Yeah, Packmaster, and away he goes.
He's gone.
Oof,
Yeah, that's,
that was a little risky for being a low leadership faction, kind of deploying so far back, but that and the mobility that Crabbling has had.
Yeah, exactly. And also, like, once again, the superior number of Rat Ogres apparently is carrying, because in the front line they are everywhere, and I mean, Brooders and Mutant Rat Ogres do a good job, but they don't have the same impact than 12 Rat Ogres charging at the same time.
Yeah, and Crabbling's done a good job of using his Rat Ogres in the frontline support and letting his Wolf Rats do a lot of work in the back line.
Ooh,
nice Scorch.
Right there. Oh, Scorch, maybe.
Or, yeah, I think Pestilent Breath by the Plague Priest there. The Plague Priest is going to be wavering and routing itself, and yeah, I think it is just going to be a snowball as Crabbling is going to be taking this one, in my opinion, here. I don't think there's a whole lot left.
Oh, yeah. No, I think it's over at this point. Once again, the Skaven with more Rat Ogres won the battle. And also real good play, I think, with the Hounds. Like what was in place of the Hounds was the Boobos and Poison Me Mortars, and I don't think they paid for themselves enough. Oh, another Plague. Okay, just for the fun at this time, because it's killing a lot more of him than it's killing of Evenstar. But yeah.
Yeah, Crabbling finally pulling out a win with his Skaven. He went 1-2 in the finals with his Skaven, but yeah, it did work out in the end.
Yeah. And if you look at the Rat Ogres, like their value isn't incredible, but they were everywhere they need to be, breaking units with their charge and their mass, stopping enemy units from escaping. The Hounds, well, one of them really didn't do too well. The others did okay. Frontline 4 Plague Monks also versus 2. Yeah.
Yeah, but just not
I
enough
don't think
space.
Yeah. Double Mutant Rat Ogre and double like Brooders, I think wasn't necessarily the play there, but it was a nice try by Evenstar and a great job by Crabbling.
Yeah, congrats to Crabbling indeed.
Yeah, no, really good job.
Yeah, Crabbling takes the championship in the Smokin Skaven style.
Yeah, they were bantering during the battle. You run right to my snipers without even pretending. Haven't run into her back. Yeah. The mobility of the Wolf Rats proving very useful in that battle.
Yes, indeed. I think the mobility advantage, I think, definitely won that there. And, of course, that the Rat Ogre support up front. Quite a few good games. Yeah.
Definitely.
Thanks to JP for organizing all this. And, of course, thanks to you as well, Happy, for joining me today.
Yeah, I mean, Jay couldn't be here, so I took back the mantle, but yeah, she deserved the praise. She was, and you, the organizer. I just arrived on the last day to like ramble about the fact that I was drunk yesterday night, basically. Well, I'm gonna go for now. Thank you, someone, for the follow. Yeah, thank you, LK Gamer, for the host with 1 viewer. Thank you very much. And the follow. Okay, Valkonos and Valkonos viewer, it has been very nice being with you today, but I am gonna go say goodbye to my viewers and probably go to sleep.
All right.
Have a good night, guys.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, and to everyone else here in my stream, thank you all for joining as well. trying out the new UI for tournaments and having some great matches with some Skaven. Unless you guys have any other final comments, thank you all again for joining us once again. And yeah, hope you all have a good one.